GNT show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. These are the voyages of the GNT show. Our continuing mission to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to Boliga, where no show has gone before. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the GNT Show, episode 245. I'm Terry Lynn, and across the table is the man and the mystery, Gettysburg 7.
You were on edge waiting for it, weren't you?
Totally.
Yeah, I heard it in your voice.
Totally.
And for those that don't know, you're not here live. You have no idea what we're talking about, but it's something that happens every week, and I didn't do it this week.
It was awesome.
Oh, good morning. Coming to you live from a predominantly white neighborhood, it's the GNT Show.
Oh my god.
There she is
shit.
next to me, wearing nothing but her towel since she just got out of the shower. It's Terry.
And we have no hot water.
Oh no, what happened?
The boiler died.
Oh no.
And there he is to my right, your left, also wearing a towel and now looking sad. It's Ceridium.
Kapoha. I got me a new captain's chair. I'm very happy.
I saw.
My butt is smiling.
Your butt is smiling?
My
Excellent.
butt is
Oh,
smiling.
God. I don't need to know that.
Please, no pictures.
And sitting across the table from me, there she is in just her towel, but yet still with her cap. It's Janet.
Good morning and happy birthday, Linda Park.
Yes. I have something special for you, Ms. Park.
Oh
Also
my.
sitting across from us, I think, wearing just a bow tie and a towel, it's Kajiro Vance.
Good morning, and yeah, no, the towel fell down. I'm actually totally nude except for the tie.
And your
It's
Mai
very
Tai as
formal.
well.
Mm-mm.
Good morning, everyone. Coffee Club.
Wait a minute, there's one more.
Ooh, sun. Sorry.
Wearing nothing but body glitter, it's Sunseol.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
She's all gold, all sparkly gold.
Well, you have to realize I'm kind of glitter phobic, so being covered in body glitter, I would probably be just immensely
Why are you
frozen?
It's like ants on her skin.
It's really
How
large
are you
glitter.
phobic?
It's glitter the size of pie plates. It's huge.
I have gotten more and more I've gotten more and more hateful of glitter to the point that it just scares the crap out of me for no reason whatsoever.
Oh, you can't go to STLV then.
Yeah, no. People throw it around like nuts.
And after I give Trek Karen or Starfleet Mom a goodbye, I have glitter on me for like a month.
Yeah.
Well, that's also because I...
Yeah, it's on your head.
It's on your face.
You've got to quit motorboating.
That's
Yes,
exactly
man.
what
no.
he does.
No, hold on. I said no last time, and Starfleet Mom pushed my face into her boobies.
She did.
And said, "No, you're gonna do it."
And she did. I'm a witness.
What? She
And
did.
you're gonna like it
Starfleet-
too, mister.
There is something when I'm just saying, Star Trek Las Vegas, when you're over by the Masquerade bar, there are several wonderful large-breasted women, and if you and
God
many
bless
drinks
them.
and a lot of glitter. I'm just saying, everybody motorboats everybody else.
And when you hug Trek Karen, you can't help but get glitter on you.
well, that's because she's covered in it.
She is. She's like a Metron from the episode Arena with the Gorn. Remember how they had glitter? Oh, there you go, son. Freak out.
Wow.
Is that Brittany? Oh God, Brittany still looks amazing.
No, I don't think that's Brittany.
That's Brittany. I recognize those eyes.
Uh-huh.
It's like an outtake from Goldfinger.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Jay Galloway, that's the one myth. It says what happens in Vegas stays on GNT. That's what happens in Vegas at Star Trek Las Vegas totally doesn't stay at Star Trek Las Vegas. Trust me.
Some of it does.
Some things, but
Yeah.
That's
not all.
because you can't
Hello.
remember.
Okay,
Yeah.
that just looks weird. Their necks are way too thin. They look like the aliens from Close Encounters.
A little bit.
Their heads look photoshopped on those bodies.
Yeah, they really do.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. That looks
All right, Matthew
It's
Anderson.
our
that's just
listeners,
weird. Stop
the
it.
chat room has us distracted again. We apologize. So now let's get to
Coffee clutch.
Coffee Clutch.
What did you do this week? Coffee Clutch.
Nick,
Coffee
what
Clutch?
did you do this week?
I fucking worked. What do you think?
Yeah.
And
know.
I and
Coffee Clutches are going fast.
and I pulled the trigger on something I had to do.
Oh.
And that's all I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know what I'm
Okay.
talking
I
about.
think so.
And so does Alan.
Okay. I think so.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So does Lady Renegade.
Yes. Oh, good. Janet, your turn.
Well, I interviewed Dayton last week actually
Excellent.
very
For what?
for school stuff.
Neat.
Sweet.
That son of a bitch. I've been trying to get him on the Gettysburg Address for 2 fucking months. Oh, I don't have time. I don't have time.
Show leg. It helps.
Cocksucker.
You got to show
I
some
showed
leg.
him my
right?
ball sack.
That's one
That
of the
might
further
be the
down.
problem.
No,
Yeah.
no. Those grapefruits are amazing. I did read the first Legacies book by Greg Cox.
Oh.
Right
and-
on.
And
Oh, it's
that's why
wonderful.
he's not here. That's why he's not here for the Gettysburg Address. You're reading other authors, you cheater.
Dayton's book is until the 3rd one.
So
It's really
gearing
good,
up
and
for
the
it.
ending is fantastic.
Right on.
Oh man. So you interviewed Dayton for school, you said?
Yeah, and
Lonely Rider.
yes, so that'll be out later this month, as I recall. And I mean, that's the main thing. You know, I just I work on school stuff and wedding blog, and yeah, we're covering a first birthday party that I'm sure is going to guarantee at least 20 years of therapy for this poor child.
Oh my gosh.
And
Why's that?
Oh, somebody's playing timeline.
Timelines.
Son,
and-
what did you do this
Yes.
week?
What is it? Tell us about this birthday party.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
it's based on French somehow, and this poor child. Well, for one thing, she's wearing like a I assume it's for christening, but like the little bonnet and whatnot. But all I could think of was Demi Moore in The Crucible.
Oh.
So so I'm wondering, like what's going. So there's ergotism probably
So-
going on.
It's French, so show up in a Nazi uniform.
Oh God, no! We already have the pictures, and that's what I do. Is I look through pictures and decide, what goes on the blog, and just big plumed Vegas showgirly kind of stuff. And I mean, if you're
Was
a
it
1-year-old,
Jean Benet?
pretty much. I mean, if you're a 1-year-old child, you got to be sort of in a 1-year-old way thinking, what the fuck is going on here? This is
This
what
was
people
for a
do when they have
1-year-old?
less sense than money.
This was for a 1-year-old?
Yes, I kid you
Oh
not.
man.
It's coming out
man.
end of next month, beginning of February of September, I think. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
indulgence for the super rich. That's what
Yeah.
I do. Pictures of the indulgences of the super rich.
Well, there you go.
It's more.
Yes, yep.
Is it the Crucible or more like Kelly LeBrock in not Kelly LeBrock in Witness?
Yes, similar kind of look. Yeah, actually, that's probably closer.
Speaking of the Amish,
Yeah.
There you go. See, everything is full circle always.
everything goes back to the Amish on the G&T show.
Yes, this morning we're talking about Amish meth dealers.
Oh my God!
And that's the name of the show.
And Mennonite crack dealers.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Okay, moving on. Son, what did you do this week?
I'm still actually unpacking.
From?
Oh,
Tricks?
we had to move because
Oh.
the landlady sold the house out from under us that we were renting.
Oh,
And,
bummer.
yeah, we only had because there was no communication between her and the realtor and us. We found out we had 2 weeks to find a place.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
God.
That's
I am
ridiculous.
so sorry. I'm so glad you found a place.
I'm glad we found a place too, but it's like $300 more a month.
Oh.
Ouch.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, place a place. So,
I'm glad you're with us.
well, thank you for having me.
Yep.
I would have been up in the welcome room.
Yeah, we love having you sit and chat with us.
Well,
Mikey, what
don't
did you
push
do
it.
this week?
Well, Nick had mentioned he had read a book. I had read Terry and Paula's Rules of Accusation. Really great book. It's so good. I read it in a day. I never do that. So good. Quark, hilarious. Yeah, you got to check out this book. I mean, it's ebook only. It's a short novella, but it's phenomenal. They do great work, and I am very happy that they will be joining us at Vegas. One other thing that I did this week, I played a shitload of Stowe.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little too much, if you ask me, Mike.
I'm only on level 46.
And it dropped on Thursday.
Who needs sleep?
So is that what we're going to cover right now? Gaming news?
Not quite. No, Al,
Soon.
getting close. Kojiro,
Yes.
what did you do this week?
We cleaned the garage because we know how to have a good time.
Yes, we did.
All the adult buttons are going off.
You guys
That's
sound
right.
like you guys sound like a song by Chic.
You guys have a pretty huge garage, too, so
Yeah.
this was no small feat.
No. Alan took, you know how big our truck is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alan took one entire truck, the front cab and the back of the truck completely filled to Goodwill.
Holy
To
cow.
Goodwill.
Wow.
Yep.
Do you have
We are
anything
purging.
left?
You took
The
a
house
truck
is
to
going
Goodwill?
through the purge.
That's a nice.
We're having the purge.
Right on.
Truck
So
a load.
You
truck
gave
load.
Goodwill a truck?
No.
Yeah, right.
Just the stuff that was in it. I hope you didn't give away my golf clubs.
That would be fantastic, Alan. Please tell us you did. That would be the best. We could all just sit back and listen to that.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, that's kind of what I did this week. I played Stowe, I played Neverwinter, and I played Lotro and cleaned the garage and worked. It was great to be in game though. Lots of stuff coming out in all three games. All right, shall we move forward? What, Mike? You get to choose. What do you want to start with?
Oh, he's already chose.
Physicists, so technology.
Hey, I saw that on Star Trek. Technology news.
Ah, boo.
This I thought was kind of cool. Physicists have figured out how to get the Star Trek replicator to work, and the secret sauce is giant freaking lasers.
He gets so excited. It's so cute.
I think it's cool. So okay, so we can
It
move
is
on
cool.
now. I picked. Who's next?
I say we start off with some general news.
What's new in the Star Trek universe? General news.
Outside of the technology news, which the link will be in the chat room, but that's kind of cool.
General news, isn't he the new commander in Afghanistan? Thank you.
For those who missed it, we didn't pick up on this link last week, but we're going to pick up on it today.
Well, we had it saved. We just never got
we've had
to
it saved,
general
right?
news.
Was a Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick, had recorded some twang country classics
So awesome.
as a fundraiser for charity. And it was like the moment that it hit Facebook, it sold out. Seriously, I don't think it lasted
No,
more.
the full albums were part of the joke. It was a 5-song,
No, it's a sampler, right? It was
Yeah.
a 5-song sampler.
They really did sell out.
Yes.
Holy cow. Awesome.
Yeah, it was a 5-song sampler, and it was for a donation, but they sold out completely
Wow.
within hours. So very successful, but funny as all hell. If you ever got to see the ad for it, don't know if the link is there or not.
Yes,
but
it is.
The video is there.
Yeah. Just click it, scroll down, and there's the video in our chat room. Thank you.
Yep, and all it's just hilarious. Patrick Stewart is just Renaissance man. Netflix UK adds the original Star Trek, TNG, DS9, and Enterprise.
Yay, Steve!
Steve, I wonder how he did get to watch it. I mean, he must have the videos.
He says he talks about it on Dribbles all the time. He actually watched them from a
third
on
party
his laptop.
Oh,
Well, see, they have a kind of an NBC CBS type thing in their for TiVo essentially.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's American stuff that's over there for their TiVos and stuff, and he would record them to his laptop and take his laptop to work and watch those episodes.
Steve, let's be honest. Steve has a hookup. He walks in, touches the side of his nose. That guy touches the side of his nose. Slips him a brown paper bag. Steve walks out.
He's an Amish meth dealer.
All
More meth, yeah.
all pasty and tired with his boiled food.
His boiled food. Sorry.
Oh boy.
Wow, that one was a slow build for her, but the payoff was definitely worth it.
Oh yeah, did you hear the snort?
I did. Because you know what it is? She's just it's actually on beta.
Laser disc.
It's on beta.
Betamax.
So he only gets 3/4 of the episode.
He only gets 3/4 of the episode, but it is in higher def than VHS.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, too funny.
Hilarious.
Too funny.
We're like offending everybody this week. That's awesome.
I know.
If Steve was here, he'd be playing along. You know it. He'd go, "Is this right?"
It's just really true.
Oh my God, too funny. A great article from Mashable.com regarding Inside Star Trek Starfleet Academy experience. And for those who follow our friend Elio over at Priority One Podcast.
What a singing voice.
He went live from the Star Trek experience yesterday.
That's awesome.
From the Intrepid Museum. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Nick? Okay.
Yeah, the USS Intrepid.
And that's where the Enterprise shuttle is, as well as now this Academy experience. And I think that's pretty freaking cool. So I don't know if Elio has been able to post those videos at any other location except his Facebook page, because I think it was a Facebook Live event for him. But it looked great. Did you see the picture of him on the Enterprise D bridge?
I did see that.
Oh my God! Is
By the
that
way, let
beautiful?
me say hi, Cookie Cupcakes. Hi. Hi, Cookie.
Isn't it beautiful? I mean, the lighting on it, everything is just exquisite. It's really, really beautiful. So check it out if you are in the neighborhood, if you can. I do understand that the Academy experience rotates. It's touring, correct?
Yeah, from what I understand, it'll be. It's going to be at Vegas, from what I understand. I think it's also going to be at Comic-Con and other places. So look for it.
Very cool. Awesome. All right. Anthony Montgomery. Mikey, you got more read in on this than I did. What is our good friend Anthony up to?
He's
so handsome.
Yeah, the
He's
post
a fine-looking man.
The post is kind of vague, but he was proud to participate in a wonderful documentary for the History Channel celebrating the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. It's supposed to air sometime in July, and that's all the details that he reveals. But I'm now going to be on the lookout for this History Channel documentary about Star Trek for celebrating 50th. So, right on.
That's very cool. Yeah, he's and congratulations once again to him for his role on General Hospital. He seems to be doing very well, and very successful. So, yay!
I need to clear up something that's been said in the chat room. It's one of those legends. Robert Reyes, porn is not the reason why VHS took over for Betamax. The reason Beta failed was because the tape was only for like 45 minutes. So what was the reason for having a tape of a show as an hour? And the marketing for it really sucked.
Yeah, Sony blew it. I had a beta. I still have beta tapes. I had a beta.
It was
player.
extremely superior quality.
Yep.
But the marketing sucked. But the fact that people couldn't record a whole show was the huge. I mean, really, how do you sit in the drawing room and go, "We can tape for 45 minutes"?
Well, if you're a standard 1 hour show, that's about right.
No,
because you're taking out time for the commercials.
But actually, but you weren't getting. You were getting. Shut up, son.
Well, it wasn't automated at the time, so you have to sit there, turn it off during the commercials, then turn it back on.
Yep. So what's the use of having to?
What's the use of that? And all the blue hairs are going, but I don't know who did the murder on Murder, She Wrote. I think it's Jessica. They framed Jessica. It's never Jessica. Okay? Ever.
What about Mirror Universe Murder, She Wrote? Tell me that.
She was throwing people in ovens. She was the leader of the Hutus and the Tutsis.
and she has a little goatee.
She has one in this universe too. Oh, yes! Thank you. Oh, da 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 da.
Try the veal.
If we start going into Fickle Finger of Fate, we're done. You know that, right?
She really was. You know, I never watched the show because, well, quite frankly, she annoyed me to no end. But I was so happy when I did see the commercial where it was like she was the one being investigated because she was always around all these murders. Yes. So they finally wrote one where she was the suspect. I was like, okay, that's meta. That's good.
All right. Another link is the wonderful announcement that we've kind of already known about, which is the global art exhibition that's going to be making its premiere. I believe it's it's San Diego Comic Con, which is the 50 artists, 50 years. And some of the artwork has already been kind of released to the public to show us what it's going to be like. But this wonderful art, there's going to be an exclusive Paley members only preview on Thursday, September 15th at the Paley Center. And so if you are a member of the Paley Center and you want to get a good look at some of these beautiful pieces of art, check it out. The link over at StarTrek.com. You can also follow it over there if you don't want to. If you don't want to click on a link, you can just go to StarTrek.com and click on the 50 Artists, 50 Years.
I believe they will also be at STLV, so that's awesome.
Yeah, we'll be talking about STLV here shortly.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, let's just go to convention notes. Why don't we?
Alrighty then.
Alrighty.
Let's do it.
All right.
Convention news.
William Shatner is and Jerry Ryan and a whole bunch of people. Scott Bakula. Essentially, Star Trek is taking over San Diego Comic-Con, and it's wonderful. This is big because they're going to be doing the Star Trek Beyond premiere from San Diego Comic-Con. They're going to have a huge Star Trek presence from all of the different series at San Diego Comic-Con, and it's pretty freaking awesome. Some of the Star Trek exclusives from some of the providers at San Diego Comic-Con are jealous making. I am so jealous about some of the things that are coming out from San Diego Comic-Con that just makes me want to cry.
I'm not, because you know how I feel about these convention exclusives. I have
a question. Why the hell does STLV, which is supposed to be like the biggest Star Trek convention, right, out of all of them?
It's supposed to be the official.
Because, Mike, SDCC has way more people.
Yep. When you've got 160,000 people as opposed to 20.
And look at the press that SDCC gets compared to STLV.
I want some convention exclusives for STLV.
Mike, here, have a chocolate.
Thank you.
So Terry,
yeah,
you enjoying that peanut butter and jealous sandwich?
I'm so jealous.
Wow.
I'm so jealous. The exclusives are pretty fucking cool. And
I think the coolest thing
Well, what
is
are they?
the Axonar models that they have, the official Axonar models.
Too soon.
yeah, does
Well,
Hallmark have those Axonar ornaments? Yeah.
I know, we were disappointed. We went to Hallmark yesterday and there wasn't a single Axonar chip available. I mean, it was so disappointing.
But it's the
Come on,
greatest Star
Hallmark.
Trek
What's
ever.
the matter with you?
But it's the greatest Star Trek ever. How could they not?
Exactly. You would think that they would have had them ready to go, but no.
I've got my life-size Garth of Izar bust, the official Axonar Garth of Izar bust.
See, I try to get them to not even talk about this stuff, and they do. Don't blame me, folks.
It's just so disappointing. I mean, CBS.
So, not just including the product exclusives on the floor of the vendors area or the exhibition floor at San Diego Comic-Con, there are many panels that are going to be involved too. It's the first and foremost, it's the first ever outdoor IMAX premiere of Star Trek Beyond, which is pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah.
2, the Star Trek Talks Science, the Smithsonian, and Star Trek will be held on Friday, July 22nd in room 5AB. Star Trek, the Roddenberry Vault will be Saturday, July 23rd at 12:30 in room 5AB. Trek Talks, Star Trek and NASA, Boldly Go, Saturday, July 23rd, 6 p.m., room 5AB. Star Trek, the official Starships Collection, there's Eagle Moss's baby, designing and filming starships, will be on Saturday at 3 in room 28D and E. And Star Trek 5 Decades of Comics will be Friday at 1:30 in room 8. If that's not enough, the art exhibit 50 Artists 50 Years will be open there, and the full Comic Con schedule will be out later this week. So it's crazy.
Can I tell you something quite honestly about San Diego Comic Con? I don't think there's anything they could do there that would make me say I want to go.
It's, you know what? It's fucking awesome.
You know what? Between the size of the crowd, the horror stories of waiting 8 hours to get into something that's 8 hours where you could have, been spending money at the convention, but because it's set up the way it is, and quite frankly, the whole, I don't know, it's now become a, something for Entertainment Tonight and all of that. It's designed for that now.
But, Nick, but let me tell you how to do this, because we went in 2010, and you know what? You're right. The lines are ridiculous when it's the big name panels. I know Terry stood in line for 3 or 4 hours for the Big Bang Theory and stuff like that, and everything. But you know what I did was I looked at the schedule and looked for things that were probably going to be a little bit less off the radar. And I had some great experiences because I went to a panel of Danny Elfman because he did a whole panel about doing movie music. And, Danny Elfman, of course, was the front man for Oingo Boingo.
How is that not packed? Danny Elfman fucking rules.
You know what? The room was full. It wasn't like I had to wait in line for 3 hours. I waited for 10 minutes. And then I went to another panel, and this was the one that amazed me. It was the first time he had actually gone to a public and done a public appearance. Was Burke Breathitt, who did Bloom County.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
First
this was
time
cool.
he had actually gone to a convention to see his fans, and now, of course, they were doing a rollout of his. They were doing what's the publisher, Terry, that did the compilation of his works for Bloom County?
Yeah.
But anyway. Fascinating. He was actually quite taken back that people even came to see him. I mean, because he's usually a very private person. So
he had no clue. He had no clue
that the people were so wow. So I go to the panel. Great panel. Afterwards, I'm walking in the vendor room, and he's selling his book at their booth, and there was no line, which I thought was a little bit weird. I walked up to him, and I ended up talking to him for 20 minutes, and But my point is there's experiences to be had at Comic-Con. If you kind of avoid all of the super popular stuff, because I think it's ridiculous to wait in line for 6 hours for
it drives me crazy. It drives my anxiety through the roof just seeing the crowd.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it is.
It's
Like
way
I said,
too
there's
small a
experiences
place.
there to be had if you just kind of avoid those things and go for and really target your schedule correctly.
Did you tell him what you got
Anyway.
from him though?
Oh yeah,
Clap.
I bought 2 books, and while we were talking, he drew me 2 cartoons in the front panels.
Holy cow.
He drew an opus for me and then signed it, and then he also on the other one he drew a Build a Cat for me.
Oh my
Nice.
Ack.
Seriously, I mean, it was awesome.
Opus
yeah,
was the shit.
He is the shit.
Still is.
He still is the shit. Oh God, he's been on point this past couple weeks too. Mikey,
May I make a personal request to anyone going to Comic Con?
Oh God. You want your axe in our?
Anyone going to Comic Con? I heard a rumor that Lego Dimensions is going to be there, and they're going to be giving away an exclusive Green Arrow minifigure. Please, I want one. Request complete. Thank you.
there you go.
You know, it's actually rather interesting that San Diego Comic-Con has we've known about it kind of getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but at the same time it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. E3 kind of just imploded.
No, E3 changed, and here's the thing that E3 did that they kind of had to, because LA couldn't. LA wasn't prepared. It wasn't the convention holders, because I used to go to E3 all the time. Because it was right next to my office building. I used to be able to go when it was open to the public, and it would draw 150,000 people. And LA did not know what to do with 150,000 people attending
Of all
the
the
game.
cities that didn't know what to do with people,
Downtown didn't know what to do. They
that's
really
just
didn't.
weird.
Well, it sounds funny, but there's not a lot of hotels in downtown. There's some, but there's not a lot.
It's all offices, right?
It's all office buildings.
Exactly.
So the convention center is used to having, like, its biggest convention every year draws locals who come in, park, and then leave. E3 drew in people who wanted to stay. So to get a hotel room for E3, you ended up having to stay like in the beach cities or in Pasadena or, 20, 25 miles away. They just weren't prepared for it, and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it was actually the city that went to the convention holders and said, you're going to have to deal with the population increase. It's not safe. And it really wasn't. I have to tell you, it really, really wasn't. And so E3 did the smart thing, and that was you couldn't go unless you were covering it and you have to go through the same thing you do at San Diego, which is, if you're going to be covering it, if you're a blogger or a journalist or something like that, you can get a license to go. Or if you're a developer or a buyer, and really that helps the game, because really what this is it's an exhibition, not to the end user. It's an exhibition to people who want to actually retail these games. It's really what the exhibition is for. So it's really meant for the gaming retailers, which now are Steam and other kinds of. So it's all kind of higher level shit. So it's the journalists and the middlemen that are really being catered to. It still fucking draws 50,000 people.
Well, of course, because they still create hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of shit.
Oh, millions, billions. What did the gaming industry pull in last year? $58 billion?
Now, I do want to go to Dragon Con.
Dragon Con would be awesome, but talk about another beastie that takes, 6 hotels now?
Yeah, but I've been asked if I'm going to go by some people, so I'm going to have to at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but see, that's the thing. Dragon Con has an adult track.
Yeah.
And it has a astronomy track and a Star Trek track and a skeptics track, which I think is pretty cool.
Speaking
San Diego
of
Comic-Con is a blast. If you guys ever get the opportunity to go, it is an experience that you really should try. Just understand you're going to get a schedule that is 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch thick, and you're only going to be able to do 4 or 5 of those things.
Now,
Seriously.
speaking of conventions, next weekend I will be in Baltimore, as will the lovely Lady Renegade, for Shore Leave.
Yay! Yay!
So I don't know if I'll
Awesome.
be here next Sunday because I am crashing with the lovely Kelly Medding at
Yay! Hi,
Shoreleave.
Kelly. Excellent.
And
Have fun.
so yeah, and it will be much fun, and I get to see the Lady Renegade, who I haven't seen in 6 months, so that'll be wonderful. And I've got something about her when we get to Stowe News because it's quite fun.
Awesome. Anything else about Shoreleave we need to discuss?
Yeah, bad news.
What?
Mike, go ahead.
Oh, we
Yeah, we already
talked about it
discussed
last
that
week.
Karen Gillian. It was
isn't taking in reviews.
yes, she's busy.
So I figure I'm gonna bull my way to the front of the line and ask her to marry me.
Hey, he's moved up in the world. He went from chloroforming her to
That
to
is
just-
true. That is true. That is very, very true. All right, we do have some news for Star Trek Las Vegas from Creation.
Oh?
Yeah, we do. We received our confirmation and our booth assignment this week, which is
Our
something.
confirmation.
Our
I heard that too. I heard that too.
I have to say, this is the first time in the 5 or 6 years we've been doing that. How long have we been going? Is this 6 years, Alan? 7?
This will be number 6.
This is the first time I've ever gotten a booth assignment email ever. I usually don't get the assignment till we get to the con. This is the
Wow.
first time they've been like prepared enough to actually say, these are your booths. And then they handed us a map. This is where your booths are going to be. And I'm like, holy crap. I'm personally pretty happy with where we're at.
We're like in the center of the room.
Yeah, we're kind of in the middle of the room. It's going to be very, very nice. The back of our booth is going to be up against what I think are going to be the celebrity autograph tables, which I think will be very cool.
so we can snatch them from their tables and
So we can slip behind the curtain in the back and get back there. Yeah, we will be, if for those who are attending, the setup in the vendor's room is very different than it used to be. Very, very different than it used to be. The booths are only going to be taking up, there's going to be like one row that stretches the width of the vendors area, and then there's 3 rows of booths off to the right as you enter, and then off to the left and taking up a huge space is MAC Cosmetics.
what?
Huge.
No Roddenberry?
I think Roddenberry has its own freaking room.
Yeah, they've got the other half
Yep.
of the second ballroom, don't they?
I think that's
Where
exactly
Quark's
it.
bar and everything else
Yep.
is.
Yep. Where those chess boards were last time and the beanbag chairs. I think that's
Yeah.
going to be the Roddenberry area, which is pretty awesome. So it kind of gave more room to the vendors area. There's a few, how should I say, it looks like there's probably a lot less booths this year, probably because the retailers who were kind of selling non-licensed stuff are no longer allowed. That's
Sorry, Alec.
okay. That's okay. Yeah, and I think that's okay.
No
I really
patches
do.
here.
Yeah, so it's very cool. And I do have confirmation that Star Trek Online did get their booth confirmation as well. And we're currently trying to see if we can finagle a move because they're listed as like B20 something. So we're going to see if we can. We did ask to be next to each other, and that did not occur.
We're gonna work out a swap.
So we're going to see if we can
Hi,
work out a swap.
Cookie.
That's kind of it as far as convention news. I think, Mike, did you hear anything else?
Not that I can think of at the moment. It'll probably hit me later, and I'll just go, oh! But for now, I'm good.
Yeah, cool.
That's the same sound you make when you hurt your back, though. So how will we know?
That is true. Well, hopefully I'll be able to speak after.
That's a good point. So we won't be going, Mike,
Yeah.
Mike, Mike.
Just a reminder to all of our listeners, if you are able to or have tickets for Star Trek Las Vegas, please come by our booth and visit us and meet Dayton Ward, Kevin Dillmore, Terry Erdman, and Paula Block. And then I believe starting Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, J.K. Woodward, artist from IDW Comics.
And don't forget, we're going to have a drawing every day. Mike will give up some of his meth stash and give some of it away. So
There will be Amish there.
yes, Amish meth. It's the purest of all meth.
And
Amish white.
We grind it
Amish
by
Crafted
hand.
by hand.
Amish white.
Like Catcher Cell White, except Amish. Amish Catcher, Amish White.
It's the Witness. Its street name is Witness.
and we do want to meet you as well. So you come and visit us
And hang.
meet us,
and
meet our
play.
guests.
Paul says
hang
now
out.
I'm going. Can you see Paul sidling
I
up?
thought Witness was the street drug name for the Watchtower group.
Nice. Can you see Paul sidling up? Hey man, I need some witness. Just knowing Paul, seeing him looking around all nervous. I need some witness. Come on, man. I'm tweaking.
You'd be
Streetcar
behind the
named Desire.
buggy, man.
I think that's the title for this week's show is Amish
Street
Catcher Cell
buggy
White.
named Desire.
Amish white.
Amish White.
Amish white.
Amish white.
The problem is that people will be thinking that we're talking about race, and we're totally not. We're talking about drugs, which is far funnier. Okay,
They'll have to listen to the episode to find out.
that's
Okay,
right.
Amish street drugs. There you go.
Amish Catcher Cell White. All right. Book.
Wouldn't that be Mennonite white though?
That's even
Oh my
better.
God. There you
Mennonite
go.
White.
Mennonite
Men
white's
in
less
white.
pure. It's not as pure.
Mennonite White is not as pure. You guys
Well, I'll
missed
tell
it.
you one
Then
thing.
the opposite
What?
version is Midnight Black.
I can guarantee that in SEO, nobody is trying to rank for this particular keyword phrase.
Exactly.
Woo, we're at the top of the list.
We're gonna run the internet, folks.
Quaker white.
Oh my god. So,
isn't this like
That's Caucasian American, thank you.
Isn't this like Rule 34 or something? You know?
oh,
No,
don't.
that's porn.
Oh,
Oh my
If
god.
anything exists, there's porn of it on the internet.
I
That's
must
Rule
find
34.
Amish porn.
Amish porn.
Oh.
careful what you ask for, especially with this chat room.
Well,
Pardon,
it's
my
not
lady.
Amish porn, it's Mennonite porn.
Pardon, my lady. Would you please take off your bonnet? Oh.
Now there's
I
an
have a feeling
angle.
the bonnet's on.
Oh my god.
Just some random neighing in the background. He gets there and all of a sudden you hear
Josephus, where are you, Josephus?
Oh god.
I can't breathe.
Because there's no pizza delivery, they're delivering grain or something.
I got your butter, my lady. Oh, and there you go. Boom.
There it
There's
is.
Amish porn in the chat
Oh,
room.
there it is.
And this, folks, is why you should listen to us live in the chat room.
Oh my god. Oh,
Awesome.
it had to be Matthew Anderson. Of course it was Matthew
Churn that
Anderson.
butter.
Thank you,
Churn that
Matthew
butter.
Anderson.
That's it, churn it.
Turn my butter. Oh, too funny. Too funny. Oh,
And on that note,
and on that note, where do you go
Is
from
he
there?
spanking her with sticks?
I don't know. I can't. I'm not watching it.
No, it's just a photo.
I don't know.
Can I just say
well,
that I was
it's
right?
a whip.
The bonnet.
It's Amish.
Yeah,
they
you
have,
were.
They have horses. They use whip. Never mind. Never mind.
Buggy
Can I
whips.
just say
No,
that I was
please do
correct
tell,
that the
Mike.
bonnet
Oh,
stay
Oh,
on?
dear God.
Oh my god.
wow.
Oh,
Shut everybody up.
fuck.
I like the yes,
Our
we
chat-
went there.
Our chat room is adult only at the moment.
Well, the whole damn show is adult
Yeah.
only. I'm just.
Once again,
Thankfully.
reminding our listeners that when you join us 9 o'clock Sunday morning Eastern Time, you are treated to a multimedia experience.
No shit.
Your
So how about
eyes
that
and
Stowe
ears will be
update, huh?
assaulted.
Yeah, do you want to just jump into gaming news? Let's
How about
do
that
that.
Stowe update?
I want to play a Star Trek game. Gaming news.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Gaming news. And we're going to talk about Stowe.
Yes.
Lots and lots of stuff about Star Trek Online. And this week, Agents of Yesterday's expansion went live. And
let me just say this.
yeah.
It lives.
Let me just say this.
Yeah.
When you hear Vic doing his work, the difference between a professional voiceover actor and everyone else is painfully evident.
Absolutely.
So good.
It's so good. And you know who else is amazing?
Vic is the shit. Yeah, the guy that does Daniels.
The guy who does Daniels and Chris Doohan. Scotty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Now, the guy that does Daniels, that's really Daniels, right?
I think
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
And I have to say,
You're going to spoil it because you've already maxed out.
No spoiler. And I'm not maxed out. I'm getting close though.
Oh, you're close enough.
But I want more. I wanted more
Look at
of
you. Wait, I want
Vic's,
more. How American.
Of Vic's character.
Yes. Well,
I want more, and
I'm only a Lieutenant 7, so I'm still getting
good.
When he did wait a minute, a whole station disappeared. The acting in that was unbelievable.
What I liked most about it was like, hey, I get really weird reports from Kirk.
Yeah.
Yours are getting pretty damn weird.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you this. So earlier this week, the lovely Janice and I, she's got a character. So we were playing, and I was actually playing as Vicky, and then Davmak with her character, and then we realized that both of our Agents of Yesterday characters are the same level.
Okay.
So we're actually doing that together.
Oh, very fun.
Yeah, so her and I are teaming up and doing that together. And because I can also answer her myriad of questions about different things.
Right.
That have to do with the game.
How to play the game, right.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. I'll hear, oh dear, oh no, what I can't move. My wrist doesn't move that way. I can't use the keyboard. No, that doesn't help me.
Yeah. It's I have to say I wasn't sure because I had no reference point as to what the content was going to be like because what?
Her Vulcan characters. Our landing party, I had my Andorian female, she had her Vulcan, and I had my Andorian bridge crewmate, and then we had there was one other it bitches be killing. Let me just say, don't piss off that team.
Yeah, I have an Andorian. I rolled an Andorian tactical officer. Mike, what about you?
Mine's Andorian engineer.
Okay.
I'm Tellarite powered.
Yes,
I have a Tellarite
certainly
engineer.
are.
You have a Tellarite engineer?
Yep, Tellarite powered.
You know what my thought was? Fuck it, I'm gonna put lipstick on a pig.
Oh.
And you know what?
She looks awesome.
I named her Harsa Lapin, and her bio reads, "I can see Klingons from my house."
Oh.
Janice and I were going, I had to re-show her where she could sell her stuff in the exchange on Earth Space Dock. First of all, Earth Space Dock made me laugh so hard.
I know, it's so cute.
Because it's so tiny.
It's so cute.
I literally ran into it.
Oh, the
It's a cute shrimp.
the one from the past. Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
I literally ran into it and stopped. But,
The biggest thing on that Earth Space Dock is the shuttle bay.
yes. And Mike was down at the ship selector, so Janice stood on one side of him and I stood on the other until he came out of doing what he was doing.
Oh, really? I didn't even know.
Yeah, we stood there for like 5 minutes, and her and I just talking in TeamSpeak while we waited for you.
Do you know why I created the Tellarite Sarah Palin anagram? It's because the ship selection name that it gave me for the ship was the USS Alaska.
The USS Alaska. I changed the name of mine. I don't remember. The first name I got was Sucky, so I changed mine to Fortitude and then moved on.
I looked up an Andorian name, and it is like 12 letters long.
Yeah, well, I named the second one I did. I went with an Andorian, but then again, it was always I went with Thylic Shran, and now I don't know.
My Tellarite I named Tall, Tahl. because he's not. And I named his ship the Groktal. So yeah,
Cute.
He's
I
not
thought he was going to
Klingon,
say
Mike.
proctologist, but he stopped short.
Groktal is not a Klingon word. It's it's something I had written. It's something I made up, but it's the great debate competition on Tellarite.
But we just did we did Cestus, and then we did the one,
The
shit.
episodes are beautiful. That
Yeah.
whole area, the Cestus one, it's not Cestus, it's the other.
I love the
Planet.
Vasquez
Edward
rocks.
Fuller.
I love
Yeah.
the Vasquez rocks in it.
Yep.
And then we did the one after that where the ship gets pulled into the station, K-13 gets pulled into the temporal vortex.
Yeah.
And then she was tired. But earlier we had played with her higher ranking one, and it's so funny because I was playing as Dav Mac in my Odyssey, playing down to her level, and Janice is on Drazana Station for the first time, so she started the Davidian arc.
Oh, very cool.
Yes, and I told her wait until you get to the Halloween episode.
Yes.
Because
Are you going to do it with her?
Oh yeah, because she gets scared easy. So.
Okay, because that scared the crap out of me.
Bonnikins.
Bonnikins.
I can see her now going, what? Bonnikin, what?
I did encounter a bug.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. There's still a couple of bugs. Which one did you come across?
The one that I encountered that was kind of jarring, and I'm still like dealing with the ramifications of it. I think it placed one of the temporal missions, because once you get to the future, you periodically get temporal missions.
Not unlike the Delta Rising stuff, where you have a Delta Rising recruit, you have a special little feat you have to accomplish in the episodes that already exist.
That's not what I'm referring to.
Okay.
These are actual temporal missions.
Temporal missions that are kind of stuck in between them, right?
They periodically show up, and I had noticed in my log that I had a temporal mission to pick up, so I went ahead, picked it up, did the mission. Granted, I was level 40 plus, and I was just starting the Romulan featured episode. Okay, that gives you an idea of where I was at.
Okay.
When I was granted this mission, I did the mission, and all of a sudden it unlocked the Breen arc. So I believe the bug is because I was higher level than I guess where I should be for that arc. I got that temporal mission sooner than I should have, which in turn unlocked the Breen arc. So not only did I finish so now I have the Cardassian arc open because I completed the Romulan arc. I have the Breen arc, and who knows what else. Now that
This is what happens when you play too quick.
No, I don't think that's it. I mean, you just get so much XP.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know. I haven't heard that.
Somebody told me last night that Janice and I cannot join the fleet until our tunes, our 23rd century tunes, reach a certain level. We can't even apply to a fleet.
At about level 10 is when all of the 23rd century stuff wraps up.
Right,
so
but,
essentially you get pushed into the future. That's when you can join a fleet.
Since when?
Since it works the same way as it does in the Romulan arc, you have to wait till level 10.
Oh, see, I didn't know that because my stuff has always been. Speaking of the fleet, I was looking at Dav Mac yesterday because I was in the Taylor.
Yeah.
Shocker. Here's how long it's been since I played him. He's still wearing the old Caspian Division patch, not the Caspian Rising patch.
Wow.
Yeah. Right.
I'm. That's pretty funny. I have to say, devs, you really have outdone yourself. I think that the artwork, the voiceover work, the story, everything has been just a blast to play. And I know that there are a few little bugs. The bugs that I tend to run across that kind of annoy me, or that my the NPCs don't necessarily die.
Oh,
they
we
just kind
had-
of stand
we had-
there.
Yeah,
we had the one with the flying pancakes,
yeah.
and the
I
dude
call
was
the-
just
I call it
standing
the
in the middle of the
Neural
hall.
parasites.
Yeah, he's just standing in the middle of the hall.
Yeah.
Just and I said
They're
to Janice, I was
they're
like,
stunned. I mean,
I was like,
that
what is
it's
this guy
working as
doing?
intended. It's a feature, not a bug.
It's that's a feature. So that's been the only thing that's kind of been a little annoying, but you move on with it. And
I
just
saw my first USS Vengeance ship yesterday.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
I have enough low-buy for it. I should just get it, but it's just I can't bring myself to do it yet.
No. If I get any, I want to get the Kelvin Enterprise for her.
And that is a lockbox ship.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Janice, you still owe me that lockbox if you're not going to use it.
That's kind of it, I think, for Star Trek Online. I mean, we'll be talking to Al Rivera hopefully soon, so we can talk a little bit more in depth about the story.
I love the map.
I know
how
It's
it looks like the old style.
I love all and I know I don't think this is necessarily a spoiler for Nick or for Janice, but the thing I like is that your TOS character keeps the TOS sound effects and a couple of other little things with them, even when they move into the 23rd century.
Let me tell you what's annoying about that.
What?
My phone is set up so that when there's a phone call, I get the red alert sound.
Yeah.
Or if someone texts me or I get a tweet, it's the communicator sound. So I'm playing the game yesterday with Janice, and I keep hearing communicators and looking at my phone.
Alan?
Yes.
What happened yesterday was we were watching DS9 and we were using the DVDs, and one of the sounds came up, and I kept looking for my phone. I kept looking around because, again, the alerts and everything like that. I'm like, what? Oh, it's the television.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the television.
There was something. Oh, I know what it was. When we were fighting the flying pancakes.
Yes.
And we're walking in the hall, and all of a sudden, now I've got my computer hooked up to speakers. So I've got one on either side of me, so everything's in stereo. There was a scream in the hallway, and I jumped because I was not expecting that.
Several of those missions have idle background sounds.
Yes.
So if you're standing near the little openings on the planet with the Taurians, you'll hear just like whispered grumbling.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's so cool.
I can't give enough credit to Vic and Chris for that is great. Amazing.
Yeah, they did great. And but again, you can
I wonder why they didn't ask Alec.
I think my biggest issue was I could have sworn one of the blogs mentioned something about a beehive, and I went through all four of the different starter races and went, where's the beehive hair? I don't have the beehive hair. I have is Bun 5.
I think that they were just talking about it because they made a Yeoman Rand as an NPC.
Yeah.
Oh, Terry, I got to tell you, this is so funny. On Drorzana, we walked into the mission where you have to get the replicators working again.
Oh, yeah.
Where you have to cross-circuit all that stuff.
Right.
And all I did was go, okay, I'm going to stand over here. Good luck.
You should have just asked me. I wrote that shit down.
No, because I wanted her to do it.
You're so mean.
Well, guess who wound up doing it in the end?
All that stuff changed. Yeah. All that stuff changed too when they changed.
It did.
Rosanna.
There are a lot of changes I'm seeing going through those levels with her.
Yeah,
there's
cool,
a lot of changes.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm just saying is that for those who've never played Star Trek Online, because you weren't sure, I have to say, being a temporal agent wouldn't be a bad way to start playing this game. I think it would be fun. You get a lot of really wonderful, truly wonderful, lovingly made TOS era inspired episodes. And at the same time, it really does kind of bring in Enterprise because of Crewman Daniels, and it's just fun. Alan's been watching.
There was one spoiler early on in the mission, the very first mission, that I wish they hadn't spoiled when it shows who Future Guy is.
Yeah.
Well, no. It's not that they show him. It's one of those weird things where you go, why is this person leading me? And if you know who that person is in the flyby, you go, I know who you are.
No,
I'm just waiting
when a
for-
certain character, it shows his face, and it's
I don't think that's Future Guy. I think it's a different future person.
well, he's the enemy,
Yeah.
and it's
So why
the
would they
same
be
as-
giving directive to Archer?
No. I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
want to ruin it. For
You know what I'm
anyone.
talking about, right, Mike?
Yeah, and I think we will see. I know for a fact we will see more of him, of that individual, and the bug that I described earlier. The reason why I mentioned it is because he's so early on in my playthrough. I got this end level mission, or temporal mission. So things were kind of out of order, and I have more of an idea of who he is than where I should be at this time.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem with temporal mechanics. You're always where you're not supposed to be.
Yeah, that's
at the
true,
right
too.
Time.
I'm having a ball with it. I really
Yeah.
am.
Don't think I'm not. I am.
I'm having an absolute ball with it, and the ships are great. The costumes are great.
I spent 3 hours trying to figure out what ship I'm going to fly yesterday.
Okay, you want to hear something really funny? Because when the new skill tray came out, all my characters are at least a 50 or higher. So I just went through and went did it, and because I had a full set of skill points. Do you know the utter shock and dismay I had when I rolled a new character and I only had one skill point to
You
put
only-
in? I was like, what?
Yep.
One skill point.
What the hell is this one
I
skill
want them all
point bullshit?
now. I want them all now.
And why is my ship going so slow?
Slow. Oh my god. I know. It's true.
You know,
For those who don't. Yeah, go ahead, son.
I think my biggest problem was with the Tholian episode later on.
Don't ruin.
I'm not ruining anything.
Ooh, Matthew Anderson, I
That's-
want to play that.
That's something that's been available from Cryptic in their blogs for weeks now.
Yeah.
I don't read the blog. You're assuming I read.
Oh,
You
speaking
do
of reading,
read.
speaking of
Dayton,
reading, Star
hello?
Trek Online, they did release a new fiction story, My Own Worst Enemy, and it deals with the mirror universe
Mirror
and time
Universe
travel.
Walker and his first mate, the Cardassian lady.
Mirror Universe temporal agents. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, I gotta ask. Would you go Andorian or would you go Vulcan?
For what?
You know.
No, I don't know. What are you talking about?
Say it, Nick.
If you were gonna bang one.
In the Mirror Universe?
No! Just in general.
What? It's a legitimate question.
Oh, Mirror Universe, it would have to be Cardassian. No, Trill, because I'm thinking about Mirror Esri, so it would definitely have to be Trill. But would you go Andorian or would you go Vulcan?
Andorian. Pull on the little antenna. Okay.
I would go Vulcan. Vulcans would be a bit rougher in the Mirror Universe. I'm
Oh,
okay with
no,
that.
it's not Mirror. Why? is she
You
so
said
in the
Mirror Universe.
No, I didn't.
I thought he did.
No,
You
thank
did say
Paul.
you were thinking about Esri Dax.
In the Mirror Universe, it would be
Exactly.
Trill. But in Prime Universe.
Prime Universe, I would go
Yes,
Andorian.
thank you, Matthew Anderson. That's a hell of an argument for the Andorians. She always has been, and she always will be. Wait, Paul, not enough emotion. Have you heard of Ponfar? Have you read
Andorian.
Vanguard?
Andorian.
See, that's why you pick Vulcan from the Mirror Universe, because they still have that emotional control, but
No,
it's-
Omega,
it's-
I didn't
it's
because
literally
that's
on
the next
their
mission
sleeve.
for me.
Do you think Tellarites like to motorboat?
Oh,
Do they
you
eat at a
went
trough?
there?
They don't even reach that high. They're in your crotch all the time.
Do they
Even better.
do they eat out of troughs?
No.
No, we've seen them. The Babel, one of those episodes.
There's,
You
a
know what
whole,
would be-
there's a whole table spread for them.
All right, here's a cartoon I want to see done. A Klingon sitting down to eat, and there's a Tellarite on the table with an apple in its mouth.
Pretty sure that would have happened. Yep.
That Andorian cosplayer is so hot.
Oh my god, too funny.
I have an announcement from Timelines.
Yes, you do.
They are putting together I don't want to say it's a video contest, but they put out a request for players to record a short video of answering a series of questions about why they play and why they like Timelines. And they are going to compile all these videos into a small presentation that will be featured at STLV. So if you want to participate, the link will be in the show notes with instructions as well as what questions they are looking to have answered. So check it out. And
Is because it's a welcome distraction from meetings at work a suitable answer?
Perhaps. I'm not sure if it'd make the cut, but I'm sure they'd want to know.
Awesome.
No,
All
tell her
right.
right now.
What do we have next? We can move on. Do we have any semantic shenanigans, Janet?
Just a very tiny amount.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble. Semantic shenanigans.
There was a new couple of documents filed in
Yes,
the
sir.
Axonar matter.
Yeah.
And they're mostly kind of these housekeeping kind of documents. The reason being that attorney Andrew Jick, I hope I pronounced his last name right, he apparently has left Winston and Strawn. And all that means is that they had to swap out for their pleading. So they had to tell the judge that they were switching him with a woman named Diana Hughes. I think her last name is Leiden.
Yeah.
This is typical. This stuff happens all the time. It's nothing exciting. It's nothing to get real thrilled about. And I'm not blogging about it because truly I would have had like 3 words to say about this. Okay, they changed. Here are the documents. Thank you very much. See you later. I have no idea where he has landed yet. Certainly wish him well. And that's really all I have to talk about.
Well, didn't Loeb and Loeb also have some huge news?
Not that I
Well,
know of.
on the grander scale of things,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with Axonar or any anything along that kind of line. But on that corporate side of things, yeah, there was some huge news.
Yes.
Loeb and Loeb actually purchased one of the largest commercial or corporate firms in Hong Kong this past week, and this law firm in Hong Kong is, for all intent and purposes, the Loeb and Loeb of China. So it actually puts them into a position of being able to represent Chinese corporations, not just in the United States, but in China. So that is huge, huge news for a law firm. I mean, they're just expanding and becoming larger and larger. They do have offices across the world, and they've always had a partnership relationship with this law firm, which I think was the J. Wong firm in. I apologize for forgetting the name of the firm, but in Hong Kong, they've always had a long-term relationship with them, but they actually bought the firm out, and that's just a beastie of a merger for law firms, I'll tell you. So it doesn't surprise me that Loeb and Loeb wants to be able to represent corporations, Chinese corporations that are going to be doing a lot of work, especially on that trademark and IP. But it's also not just, you have to remember, this is a firm that does far more than just copyright trademark work, you guys. They do everything. They do corporate representation at all levels. They help them with taxes. They help them with everything. So for them to purchase this very large firm in Hong Kong in order to kind of get into the Chinese market is pretty amazing. So that was the big news on Loeb and Loeb this week.
Now, I will say there's something really big going on with the whole Axanar thing. I can't tell still if it's a work or a shoot, but it's so funny when you're someone that's taking pride in treating people like shit, and then you're kicked out of the collective. It's not so much fun anymore.
Oh, I don't know what happened. So
with Terry.
Oh, yeah. What's funny is I try really, really hard not to get involved with the little interpersonal drama. I really don't.
The thing with the interpersonal drama is it spills over into the legal, because evidently there's stuff that he's got that is very damaging.
Well, we'll all find out if we ever
But
get
again,
our eyes on Discovery.
I don't know if it's a work or a shoot.
Oh, well, it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. Oh.
Did you guys see the article? This is kind of on subject, but a little bit different. That Nintendo did a similar thing like CBS did, where they had to defend their IP because somebody was producing a book of screenshots from Nintendo games as like a compendium and selling it independently. And
got a Kickstarter and everything.
Exactly, it's almost exactly the same thing, but this time Nintendo is the party that is involved in the suit.
But how can that be, Alan? They play the game, therefore they own the game. It's theirs. They own it. They play it. They're the biggest fans of the game.
You know what's funny is I was reading the article and I kind of went through some of the comments and everything, and oh my God, all you have to do is change CBS and Nintendo and change Axanar and this book, and you've got the exact same mindset.
It's so frightening.
It is the exact same mindset, which is these people are now very upset with Nintendo because they're like, but that's not theirs. I'm like, how could that not be theirs? That is all theirs. All of it is theirs.
And then there's people that are already putting together the boycott of Nintendo. We're not going to play their games anymore. And this, it's just, oh my God.
And once again, in a $58 billion industry, you're 300
those 10
upset people.
Those 10 people are really going to make a dent.
Right. But it's just so weird that there's such a sense of ownership by the viewership,
But it's not ownership, it's entitlement.
Well, that's what I mean. But I mean, there's a sense that they feel like they have some kind of stake in it because they love it so much that suddenly it becomes almost like it's their own now. And that's the mentality we're seeing in all of these different situations.
I spent $200 on the damn console. It's mine. I own it. The company belongs to me.
I think, in all honesty, what we see is that we live in a culture now where everything's much more immediate and it's a lot more public. And so, you buy a console or whatever, you share that on Facebook, you take a picture, it goes on Instagram and whatnot. You talk about what you're doing, you tweet about it and all of that. So we have this enormous sort of familial kind of societal collective going on. So we have that, and at the same time we also have myths that are in our background, fairy tales and whatnot, in Shakespeare kind of comes under that, these much older things which really are public domain. So Hamlet's in the public domain, and so is Snow White, although not the Disney version. So all of this other stuff is much, much more general, and at the same time we've got Shrek and we've got Stowe and all these other things that go on, and people are equating them, and they're not the same.
Right. I have to bring up something that occurred yesterday that kind of goes in line with what we're talking about right now, which is a very real, very palpable population of people who truly have zero clue about copyright and IP ownership. Truly, they have no clue. And it happened yesterday in Star Trek Online. Because I had rolled a new tune, I have not yet unsubscribed to the local channel on the chat room. Those wonderful zone channels or those, I know, they're horrible. This is a chat area or a chat channel it's just kind of open for anybody who's in the game. And these chat channels are notorious for derisive, vile conversation, political it's just it's just really, really, it's a cesspool. They're cesspools. But I was monitoring. I'm laughing because I was monitoring a conversation yesterday between two idiots and a smart person, which 2 idiots and a smart person. And I kind of had to I really just wanted to beat my head in. It was frustrating because these 2 idiots truly, and I don't know if they were Axanar fans or if they were just stupid outside of the Axanar. I don't know if the impetus for the conversation was Axanar or not, but they were talking about copyright and IP in the chat room in Star Trek Online. And these 2 people were very upset that Star Trek Online was stealing other people's licensed work. I kid you not.
What?
I kid you not.
Huh?
They are so dumb that they do not understand that Cryptic holds the Star Trek license and gets permission to use all of the information and sound effects and everything that's in it.
They paid big bucks for it.
Huh?
They paid big bucks for it.
But and they don't even understand how licensing works, right? So these people were like, but they're stealing Kirk's voice and they're stealing this and this sound effect there and the ship here. It's all theft. I'm like, it's not fucking theft. I didn't even get involved because it was so dumb. But this is the level of intelligence that we are dealing with. And yes, I will say intelligence because these are people who truly do not even try to understand.
Standard Axolite thinking.
It kind of is, but I don't want to say that these were. I have no information that these are Axolite fans. No, I think that
they're Axolites in waiting.
Possibly, but these are also Gamergates in waiting. These are sad puppies in waiting. These are the same people who truly just don't get life. They just don't get it. And I was absolutely stymied to think that they're playing a game and thinking that Cryptic is stealing stuff when I'm thinking, do you not understand that CBS approves everything that goes on in this game, and that's why you don't have a tier 6 TOS Connie? Seriously. That's why you don't have a tier 6 TOS Connie. There's a reason you don't have it, and you never will. You get the JJ verse one, but you don't get the original series one. That's because CBS is the one that says, no, that's not true to form of the character of the ship. CBS gets to approve it. So it's just amazing to me when you've got 2 people who are playing the game who think that Cryptic stole sound effects, stole the appearance of a ship, stole the voiceover of the snippets from the original show, right? Nick, you've already heard that because you're actually getting snippets of the original voice from the show. Right. So with Chekhov and Kirk and a couple of others.
Now,
they thought those were stolen.
Let me just remind you all this.
So stupid.
It doesn't matter what country they're from, as long as they're of the right age, it doesn't matter what persuasion, these people can vote.
I in all fairness, these folks are also seeing online tons of unlicensed merchandise for sale on eBay or on Etsy. They are seeing tons of unauthorized cover songs being played when the license has, the very small, I might add, licensing fee hasn't been paid to the owner. They are seeing this stuff everywhere, where junky sound effects or music is thrown over a backdrop of scenes that are copied directly off of Deep Space Nine or whatever, and somebody says, "Oh no, it's a mashup or whatever." They're seeing this over and over again, and they don't understand where the line is drawn. And the reason why I think a lot of the time they don't see where the line is drawn is because copyright doesn't have to be enforced all the time. You can enforce it selectively as long as it isn't trademark. And also that big corporations, and not just CBS and Paramount, DC, Marvel, Disney, etc., they don't necessarily go after the little guy. And partly it's because they might see that there's no pocket there, or that, or that some YouTube video that has 1,000 hits, they don't give a damn about, because the potatoes are way too small and they don't have time for that bullshit. But these folks who are bitching in Star Trek Online, or they are, they're going down this line thinking that this is appropriate or it's not, or they really don't understand that because they're seeing it in their lives, and they keep seeing it and they keep seeing it, and they don't understand where the lines are drawn, even though the lines are actually drawn pretty brightly. They're just not being enforced quite so clearly, and it's because there's a big avalanche of content out there, and it's so hard to police.
Do you oh shit. I had it. Hold on. Fuck.
Do I believe in the extraterrestrials? Yes.
I had you started, you were saying, and then I thought, and then you kept, and then I lost, and
Sorry.
oh.
Take
You know,
another
speaking
hit
of
of Amish light,
standalone
okay?
fruit, the blueberry.
Did you hear Alan?
No, what?
So take it. Go ahead, Alan.
Take another hit of Amish white. You'll be fine.
Yeah. The blueberry is not really a standalone fruit. It needs did you ever see that I posted? The blueberry standalone fruit?
No.
Greatest meltdown in radio history. Oh, I'll have to put it in the chat room.
Oh, well, you know, I totally agree. And it's also something I want to touch on real quick when it comes to the idea of Star Trek Online gaming news, semantic shenanigans, and the guidelines, the fan film guidelines. It's once again, I do want to put out a reminder to all of our very close friends who do machinima work. It's there was a couple of things that I saw in this particular chat room where the again, on the other side of things, there was a misunderstanding that the guidelines wouldn't apply to machinima, and I can tell you that they will.
Incorrect. They do apply.
It's in the chat room.
Right. So please get the word out that if you are doing machinima, it not only does it apply, it applies kind of twice as much because you are working within a licensee's realm. And it's all owned by CBS and they own the copyright, but that copyright kind of gets handed down, and the power of that copyright gets handed down to the licensee, and the licensee has their own copyright for their own video game. This Nintendo thing that Kojiro brought up is it goes right in line. Make sure if you are going to be making a machinima film that it adheres to the fan film guidelines. It's a visual presentation of a Star Trek story. Make sure it works within the guidelines. That's all I'm going to say as your good friend. Don't fuck it up. Okay. Movie news?
Movie news.
Let's do it. Woot woot.
Let's watch a Star Trek movie. Movie news.
So we're finally starting to see a lot of advertising for Star Trek Beyond, which is actually kind of cool. Kojiro, you saw the Quicken Loan ads. Enterprise Rent-A-Car has a new Star Trek Beyond commercial. A lot of the tie-ins now for the advertisers are coming in. I think they've been hilarious, to be honest with you. The Rocket Loans one's been funny, featuring the fucking Vulcan Corgi.
Yeah,
oh
that
my
was
God,
cool.
the
But
Corgi.
the Enterprise Rent-A-Car one, I absolutely love. The lady walks into the cloaked ship. Boom. I love that. Yeah, the Enterprise one is just gold. Oh man, I just love that one to death.
Hey, speaking of which, what's today's date for Michael Hinman?
Oh, July 10th, 2016. I can't believe it's already mid-July. Do you guys realize that we only have like 3 weeks before the Star Trek convention? I just like, oh, God. Okay.
3 weeks, 2 days, 1 hour, 24 minutes.
Please don't make that noise again.
I'm sorry.
You just scared Casey. Speaking of which, Alan gave me a little heads up about Casey yesterday, getting stoned chewing on his toy.
Yeah, he does that.
With his Casey White.
With his Casey White, yeah.
Casey White. And Chloe mainstreaming the air out of the vent.
Oh, that's Chloe. Chloe's the one that gets stoned, not Casey.
We were talking about Casey doing his glaze over when he gets
when he
starts chewing on the toy. Yeah. But I think Chloe sits on the vent and thinks like she's in a convertible with her head out the window.
Yeah, I think she just dreams of being in a car. Kind of back to the Star Trek movie though. So there's some great new ads that have come out. An interesting conversation at trekmovie.com. Actually, a kind of a report on a report where Zachary Quinto and Simon Pegg were reported as discussing the impact of the loss of Anton Yelchin to the crew there's also an interesting piece of film where Zachary Quinto was interviewed by Stephen Colbert, about how his death affected the entire cast. And
I saw that. That was actually rather beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It really was. What's this, Mike, about Star Trek Beyond's visual effects?
Okay, 1 second.
Hey, you got to keep these open there, bud.
Oh, if I did that, the stream would just go to
I know.
kaput.
I know.
Let's see. It was an interview with I'm trying to
Peter
find
Chiang.
Yes, Peter Chiang. He's the founder of Effects House Double Negative, and he's the visual effects supervisor for Beyond. And they talk about some of the things that that they did with this that makes it different than other versions of Trek, and why they made some of the decisions that they made. For instance, that close up of the neck, while the ship is traveling at warp. They did that because they wanted to show how slender it was. So when the scene that we've seen in the commercials where the drone ships are plowing through the ship, they're trying to show or establish how fragile it actually is. And then that side view of the ship traveling at warp, they kind of use the they use like real science, how and airflow.
There's a warp
and
field bubble.
Yeah.
How objects travel through space, and then how sonic booms are created, and they kind of used that and applied it towards a ship traveling at warp speed, and how that would look from a distance, as well as how they also tried to create this sense of a 3D environment, of this large space, so that's kind of the reason why we're seeing these unique shots coming out of this film in terms of visual effects. And I thought it was a very informative article. They go on to discuss the Starbase Yorktown and Dubai and so much more. So including the Franklin. So check it out. I found it very interesting, very insightful, and I think it's a good read.
Do you want to discuss the character news that came out and George Takei's reaction to it?
Yes. Do you want to tackle that one, Nick?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, this week, most Star Trek fans who pay attention to the Star Trek news came out. It was revealed this week that in the JJ Verse character, that the Sulu character was gay, out and gay. And it caused, not surprisingly, quite the kerfuffle within the fandom, and also within the celebrity fandom as well.
Mm-hmm. It did.
A lot of people were very happy with the news. A lot of people were not happy with the news. And for all of various different reasons, I personally loved the idea of it because to me, again, I like the representation matters. And then George Takei came out and said that he was actually kind of unhappy with the idea of it because he had wanted to see an original character who was gay from the beginning, quote unquote, from the beginning, to be brought into the show, which I still think can happen. But that he seemed to think that, why make Sulu gay when it was never really identified as being gay beforehand. A lot of us argued, well, why does that make a difference? Because there's a lot of people who you would never know were gay unless they said something, and some people don't say things right away.
Let's be honest, though. If people want Trek controversy, they go to George Takei. Let's just
well, that
put
is
that
true.
Right out there, because when he was interviewed about the Next Generation, he said, he's admitted before, him being one of the last holdouts, that why are they doing that? That's not us. Star Trek is us. It's Kirk and Spock and McCoy. It's us. That thing is new. It's he has this history of not liking the new stuff to an extent.
Here, you want to hear my point of view on it? I think they're both right. I think everybody's right. I think it's great that they're making a well-known Star Trek character homosexual, and that it's not a big deal, that it's kind of part and parcel of his character. I think that's awesome. And I once again, I think it matters because representation matters. I also think that Takei has a point, and that is you want to be able to have a character where it's not a big deal, but it's not a big deal from the beginning, quote unquote, the beginning. The fact of the matter is that again, I think they're both right. They both have very serious points to be made. An argument could be made that by making in the JJ verse, especially because we're only dealing with 3 films right now, to create a gay character and just to throw that person on the bridge who has no history, is never part of the original series, isn't a part of the original, it could come off as looking like a token character.
Well,
I get Zachary Quinto's point. I do.
Well, then again, though, building a whole new universe allows you to do that, much like...
So why didn't they do it from the first movie?
Why did they fucking have Alice Eve in a bikini getting undressed?
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Here's my problem.
I totally agree.
Here's my problem with it. The Sulu character, as established throughout, especially later
is
on,
assumed.
No, he's got a daughter from his wife.
No,
yeah,
who said wife?
A daughter through various
he has a daughter.
means,
He has
a daughter.
Oh my God!
But
So
nobody
you're going to
ever said he got
automatically
married.
assume that Sulu is gay?
No,
not at all. But they
Anyway,
never espoused
this-
mention.
You know what? This is going to turn into the whole argument we had when he was
I
bagging
can
on
clear
William
this
Shatner,
up right now,
and I was
Nick.
right.
I can clear it up right now.
Can I finish,
I can clear
please?
it up. No, just
Can
let
I
me say it.
finish?
No, just let me
Fuck
say it.
I'm done.
No, Kirk says, when did he have time to start a family? He
Yeah,
never
that's
says,
the
when
quote
did
I
he have
remember.
time to get married? He never said, when did he have a wife? He said, when did he have time to start a family? That doesn't mean
Oh,
he's
so
straight.
that automatically assumes he's gay.
It doesn't
No.
automatically
Jesus
assume
fucking Christ.
anything.
No, it didn't assume anything.
The actor with the character, and can I fucking finish?
Now you can.
Forget it. Move on.
No, finish.
No, move on.
Finish.
No, I'm done.
No, you're not. I'm going to make you talk because this is something we need to get out there.
This is, you know what? Making an established character and changing it around instead of being original is fucking bullshit, just like the Iron Man shit that's going on. They're making Iron Man a black female teenager to be PC. Create a new fucking character.
Okay.
It's that simple.
It doesn't
Storytell.
sell.
Right. Don't fucking fuck with established characters.
They've done that before. It doesn't sell.
Exactly. I'm so tired of this.
All right. I'm glad you got it off your chest.
No, I'm fucking tired of the, well, how do you know? How do you know? Okay? Just fucking stop. I'm tired of it.
So you're saying that Miss Marvel was...
every TV show has to have this, and this, because representation matters. Okay, let's be representative. 5% of the population, 2% of the population, 20% of the population. Okay, fucking just make characters. Make them interesting.
I don't disagree.
How about making fucking white men that aren't stupid fucking idiot fathers that get fucking abused by their wives? How about that? Because representation matters.
Wouldn't it?
My only problem with this whole thing is
why not
them
make Kirk
announcing.
Gay? Oh, how about let's go all the way and make Kirk have a revelation that he's gay?
Oh my God, the slashers would love it.
I don't find that far-fetched. I don't find that far-fetched.
He's fucked everything else.
Some of the most...
So it's Trip.
Some of the most...
Trip and Kirk in a competition. That's what
Oh my God. No kidding. Go ahead.
Kind of turned on by the Trip Timeline's character in his underwear.
Trip, wrist, nipple. Okay, I had to just say it.
Go ahead, Mike.
Some of the people that I know that have how do I describe these individuals that are very
passionate,
very attractive to the opposite sex. They later in life, because I guess it was too easy or whatever, they could have any woman they want, blah blah blah, and later in life, they decided or they realized that the reason why they were so trying to get that so unhappy trying to get that part of their life filled was because they were not really, they were trying to fill it with something that they were trying to cover up what they thought was.
My former boss came out of the closet after a 25-year marriage, had 2 daughters, and was a police officer.
Well,
and it happens, especially with older generations.
After Star Trek 4, when Dr. Jillian shot him down, that started Kirk on his road to man love. He started doubting himself.
You also have to remember that a lot of the older generations feel that they are somewhat more liberated now, because a lot of them actually come from a culture of them going to their pastors or their advisors and those advisors telling them, hey, just go have straight sex, get married, that'll sort you out.
That's right. And it really is a generational thing, and we do see a lot of it lately, just because that generation is much more liberated thanks to the younger generation that doesn't have to put up with that shit. So it is very not uncommon to see our gay friends finally being able to come out and say, I am gay, and they have been in straight relationships.
I have no problem with any of that. All I'm saying is, don't take an established character and change him to meet what Star Trek has been woefully far behind on.
So
woefully, ironically, create a new character. Hey, bridge guy with the fucking shiny eyes, why not him? He's got a following.
Well, yeah, he's an android. Why not?
How about that? Bring in Andy Dick, make him a new Okay, never mind. But God, no.
Here's my question to you, Nick. And
I have goosebumps thinking about Andy Dick as a regular in Star Trek movies. I just scared myself.
I think my question to you is that, yes, we have a whopping, really, how much backstory of the Sulu do we have?
Are you going to start screen or by the books too?
There you go.
No. Of the JJ verse, how much backstory of the Sulu
how much backstory
do we have
of any of them?
Do you count the animated series?
We have more in the other.
She said JJ verse.
In the JJ verse, how much backstory do we have on Sulu?
About as much as we do Uhura.
No,
except Uhura, we know she's banging the Vulcan.
How do we know she's not bi?
How do we know that?
How do you know she's not gay and just using Spock to get ahead? Because women do that, bitches!
And didn't we have this argument once before, and how much that pissed me off, and how much I think she was a rank bitch in the first episode for that? I'm just telling you. God, Vulcans will do for sex.
Honestly, I caught myself. I was going to say Chekhov, and then I remembered that Anton Yelchin died, and that made me really sad.
I know.
So I couldn't even go. I couldn't even go there. God damn it.
Speaking of dead things, this whole argument makes me go, because they've announced Sulu is gay, he's going to die.
Exactly.
Hollywood has this fascination
with killing off gay characters.
Because we add a tragedy into it.
Yes.
That is overly proportional to tragedy for any other characters, because we hate giving people normal, happy, regular old lives. And God, I can't stand that. It's such a trope
I know
now.
for a fact that there are people out there who have seen this movie already, because they got to see it in the sneak previews and whatnot. I want to hear from you. Do they kill him off? I just want to know, do they kill him off? Because we've all heard that there is a character that probably gets killed. I bet you anything it's fucking him. That would piss me off.
Now,
well, see, that's the thing.
Let me just say this. I really hope it's not Chekhov, because that would be really painful.
Yeah.
That would be truly painful if they did that, and then he did and that would hurt on a human level, not a movie level.
I agree.
In the Sulu as a character in general, there's very little on his backstory, and regardless of universes. But in the animated series, it does there is an episode where he does have a wife. So I just wanted to put that out there.
which is again, if they were making a Sulu series and then all of a sudden they were doing like a big change on a George Takei Sulu, I would probably have a bigger issue with it. But this is an alternate universe. It's the mirror universe. It is a different universe altogether,
Oh, I
and
wouldn't
I
call
look
it
at it
mirror.
in that way.
I wouldn't call it mirror.
Well, it's a different universe.
Parallel.
Yeah, parallel.
It's a parallel
Yeah.
universe. It's just it works on the same level as the mirror universe. It's not the same fucking universe as the prime timeline.
It's the
they
Kelvin
can do with
universe.
characters there what they can't do
Right.
in the prime universe.
Right.
So I don't see this as making the original series Sulu gay. They're making JJ versus Sulu gay.
I would have gone, if I was going to make a main character gay, I would have gone with McCoy.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
just got.
sure.
I'm sorry,
Give
I
him
just
a-
got a hot
give-
flash on that one.
Seriously, I would have gone with McCoy because one, Carl Urban can make anything amazing.
Oh yeah, give him even
Secondly,
more of a reason
that
to
would
use
have
the name
given
Bones,
a whole
huh?
different level
To the divorce.
McCoy and the divorce and all of that.
Oh, I'm just telling you.
And come on, let's face it. Don't you want to hear Carl Urban go, "I'm gay, Jim"?
Son, repeat the phrase you just said a little bit ago.
Said, oh yeah, sure. Give him even more of a name or a reason to use the name Bones, huh?
Oh, nice.
Oh. Sorry,
And let's face
I
it, he
just
is
get all
dreamy.
moist.
He is dreamy.
Yeah, he is dreamy. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm.
Come here, Jim. I want to
I'm-
give you a checkup. Drop your shirt.
I'm a doctor, not a. Oh God.
What was in Star Trek Online?
Yeah, that
Bones,
you-
both your hands are on my shoulders. What
No,
is?
son, you know what I'm going to talk
yeah,
about.
Yes,
The-
I do. And
Did you
you've
not
seen
laugh
it
your
too,
ass
Nick.
off?
You've seen it too, Nick. The
I did?
McCoyism in the
Oh,
23rd
yeah.
century.
Yeah.
I am
I'm a physician, not a
temporal
habitat
mechanic or
engineer.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Habitat engineer.
That was it. A habitat engineer.
By the way, speaking of snow, did you see the kits or the giant like triangular weird thing that Scotty was always walking around? The kits you outfit your people with?
Mm-hmm.
That made me laugh so hard.
I guess I didn't.
Yeah, look at the kit that you have. It's that, you know, that big thing with the 3 pokes at the end of it that Scotty was always like,
Oh, carrying around?
yeah, that's your
Really?
kit. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it because I have my visuals disabled.
Oh, yeah, you got to look at it. The kit that you put on your character.
No, I never saw it. I turned
Well, then
off
how
the
did you
visuals.
outfit it?
Huh?
How did you outfit it?
The icon for it.
Yeah, the icon
Just the
Oh,
icon
no.
for it.
that you
Looks
slide in where you do personal shields and body armor and all of that.
Yeah, I
Look
guess
at
I
the
never
icon
really
for
looked
your
at it. I'll
kit.
have to take a look at it.
Yeah, it's that thing
How
that
funny.
Scotty carries around.
Oh, you're an
Um,
engineer.
Yeah.
I'm a TAC.
Oh, what is your kit? Do you know?
Oh, I have to go look at it now. I don't remember.
Oh, so they each have a different
Yeah, they have
icon
different
for their
kits.
kits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
All the artwork on it is amazing. They changed everything.
Yeah.
I even like the fact that and even when you're in the 23rd century or the whatever it is, when you move forward in time, Nick, your TOS character when you go to transport or beam up to your ship, you still pull out the old communicator and talk.
Oh,
into
that's
it.
awesome.
It's awesome.
Oh, and your tricorder is
And-
the old
Yeah,
tricorder
you look
Right.
at it, you know.
You still
Sleek
pull out
black
the
and
old
chrome
tricorder, the
23rd
black
century
case.
design.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's great.
That's awesome.
It is cool.
Some book news.
Tell me a Star Trek story. Book news.
Go for it quickly, and then we can get to 50 for 50.
Wait, we have a 50 for 50?
The number
Yeah.
one, Mike.
Number one.
Ay caramba. Oh, damn
Please,
it.
Mike, it's not like you don't know the episode and haven't seen it a bunch of times.
Oops. Okay.
We just heard, that was Data having a neural shutdown right there.
It's cute. He's fine. Humble Bundle Comics have
Yes.
bundled Star Trek comics, which is pretty freaking cool. These are through IDW, correct?
Well, it's IDW, but there's also a lot of there's Gold Key and some others included with the bundle.
Oh, those gold key ones.
They're awesome.
But it's the new vision. So it's got the new visions, the archives, the IDW comics. I'm going through looking for.
They have the crossover comics of Planet of the Apes, the Green Lantern crossover, the Doctor Who Assimilation crossover, Volume 2. If you spend $15 or more with them for the bundles, then you can unlock different levels of comics.
So this is an online thing?
Yeah,
it's all digital. The $25 level unlocks an actual print book of the New Vision special. More of the serpent than the dove is the title, but this is an actual print book for $25 or more, whereas everything else is digital up to the $15 level. And there's like, I want to say there's like 46 different items here. I picked it up. So yeah, check it out, and it goes to a couple of good causes: the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund and Traveling Stories.
Real quick, in gaming, I want to just say that another game that I'm totally addicted to is Marvel Future Fight.
Oh, is it a mobile game?
It's on my phone.
Cool.
You can unlock like hundreds of Marvel characters.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Once again, we want to congratulate Terry Erdman and Paula Block on the release of their new ebook novella, Rules of Accusation, which you can download from your favorite digital bookseller, Amazon, iBooks, anything along those lines. You can download it from there. Mike has already read it.
Yes, it's really, really good, and I highly recommend it.
Tell us a little bit about this /film article, Mike. Captain Kirk almost fought Jesus Christ in Star Trek the motion picture.
Yes, this is something that comes out of their review of the 50-year mission, the complete, uncensored, unauthorized oral history of Star Trek, the first 25 years.
In other words, it's not a licensed book?
It's not a licensed book, but according to them, that is one of the ideas that was being tossed around by Roddenberry for the TMP movie, and Shatner later kind of picks it up and does a little spin on it and gives us what was it?
5.
The Final Frontier?
5,
yeah, 5. So yeah.
Well, don't forget they also had the idea of having the Enterprise go back in time and stop the JFK assassination.
That was also one of the ideas, yes.
Yeah, interesting.
There were many ideas.
There were many ideas.
Yeah, and they
as it is in any creative process.
Beaker.
Well, they had a decade. I mean, seriously, so there was a lot of ideas floating around.
Yeah.
And then the chance to finally get a motion picture, just, okay, let's go as big as we can. And, you know, I saw something the other day, and it was talking about how the motion picture was the worst and boring. And all. You know, the more, I actually enjoy the motion picture more every time I watch it. The only thing I don't enjoy is those goddamn uniforms.
Ooh, yeah, those are horrible.
But I understand from the cosplayers, they are quite comfortable.
But yeah, it's like wearing pajamas. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, but I don't know. Or maybe it's because Terry, Janet, Alan.
Maybe the Delton's working on you.
Son, I think you are. I'm not sure. We're old enough to remember when it came out in the theater. And the big deal that it was.
Yeah.
And so, to me, that still is part of it for me. That I remember the novelty of Star Trek on the big screen. Now, everything is put on the big screen. And it's not such a novelty anymore. I mean, if they had a Will and Grace motion picture, would anybody be surprised?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
This thing's been over for a while now.
Maybe now.
So was Star Trek. But you know what I mean? If they brought back the Mod Squad, they brought back Bewitched, they brought back the Honeymooners, they did a fucking disgusting remake of Pink Panther, which Steve Martin, as genius as he is, should have been shot for. You know, they did Sergeant Bilko. Again, Steve Martin should have been shot for. You know, man, that
I thought the Lost in Space reboot was pretty good.
Stop it. Just leave. Go in the other room and we'll call you back
It
later.
was good.
It wasn't bad.
But everything now is rebooted to the big screen. in 1979, that was a huge deal. I remember 2020 doing a piece on Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Yeah, it's
It's not
you're
a
right.
novelty.
You're right. No, it isn't novel. And to be honest with you, the only way they're getting younger viewers into the movie theater now is to make them, exciting and fast paced and big, right? Like JJ verse. So
Well, yeah, and I don't have a problem with that.
I know.
But I'm just saying that I'm trying to think of a show. Salvage One. Does anybody remember Salvage One?
Oh
with
my
Andy
God!
Griffith?
Wasn't that
Quantum
with Richard
Leap.
Benjamin?
Can you do a Quantum Leap on the big screen?
Okay, I would pay to go to that. As long as Bakula... Okay, that's not fair showing Addams Family, because Angelica Houston has never looked hotter. God. Shocker that I thought she looked hot in that movie.
She did.
I know. Oh, and I did watch the Wednesday Addams things that you talked about from
Oh
YouTube.
yeah.
Oh
you
my
found 'em.
God, I was dying.
Weren't they
Is it not
awesome?
fun?
They were hilarious.
Weren't they awesome? But you can totally understand
Yes, very much.
why the copyright owners went, no, can't do that.
But it was brilliant.
It
She
was brilliant.
So brilliant.
They're brilliant. They're awesome.
But yeah, so I'm trying to think, is there anything that would surprise us now that was made into a movie?
Dukes of Hazzard, the movie.
They already did it.
They did it.
Yeah, it's been done.
Yeah, but the reboot.
The Nanny. Okay, there you
The
go.
alternate universe of Hazard.
Married
Okay.
with Children.
No, they
Okay,
need a Nanny
first of all,
movie.
yes, they do, because Fran Drescher...
I want to voice the
I'll
Nanny
be back.
movie, okay?
I'll be back. But what's happening now is they're taking movies and rebooting them to TV, like Westworld.
True. There's the other way now. Definitely taking those movies and making them into series. Well, I mean, look at. I lost my train of thought. Never mind.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a while. I have been saying I've seen them for a couple years now, and I've been saying it for a while. I would love to see Star Trek VI, Undiscovered Country, get that treatment, because it allows them an opportunity to expand on the story in ways that you can't do in 2 hours.
Yeah.
You can expand a story to fill 13 hours or more, and the exploration of that film is just amazing, and those characters, and being able to do that with Star Trek VI. Oh my God!
James Swallow wrote a great book based off of that.
Yeah, I mean, they'd be able to explore some of that as well if they wanted to. I mean, there's so much information that they could
Who knew that mentioning Salvage One would set our audience up? I didn't think anybody else remembered Salvage One.
Wasn't that Richard Benjamin?
No, that was Quark.
Oh, Quark. Sorry.
Salvage One was Andy Griffith, but Quark was insane. That show was just crazy.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was with the twins and everything.
Yep.
Matthew Anderson, I was asked.
Sanford and Son, the movie.
I think they did. Didn't?
Are we talking TV movie or theater movie?
I think that Cedric the Entertainer did one. I may be wrong. No, that was Honeymooners.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah, they did the Black Honeymooners.
Yeah.
Terrible movie.
Sanford and Son, the movie.
I have one more
Manimal.
piece.
We need Manimal.
I have one more piece of book news real quick. There's a new comic book coming out, or actually an article that talks about two of them. One is Star Trek New Visions. It's a special on the Cage. So they are retelling the Cage story as a comic in the New Visions style. So that's kind of interesting. But IDW, they're also doing something called Connection. And basically, TOS Kirk wakes up in Kelvin Timeline Enterprise, and Kelvin Timeline Kirk wakes up in TOS Enterprise. So they swap Kirks, and the characters don't realize what has happened. It's kind of an interesting idea, and I'm kind of interested to see how the story
Time Spot
plays out.
punches Punk right in the face.
I mean, by the way, you have to admit though that does sound like its own TV show. Kirk swapped.
Paul wins for today. Alf, the motion picture.
We secretly replaced are Folgers crystals with new Kirk? Will the fans be able to tell? He never has a second cup of Kirk at home.
That would be Bones.
Oh, and it all comes full circle.
Too funny.
Thanks, Jim.
Bones provides the creamer, right?
My skin looks
Oh
great,
my
Jim.
God, son.
Those weren't Folgers crystals.
No.
No, they were
Mennonite
dilithium
white.
crystals.
So, Alan, what was the number one?
Mennonite
oh God, my
white.
childhood is
Are we
destroyed.
moving on?
We're
to that
moving
now?
on to
We're
50 for
getting out of
50.
here.
What's your favorite episode? GNT shows 50 for 50.
Okie dokie, here we go. Well, it's been a long,
Road, getting from there to here.
arduous road. Yeah, it's been
Strange
a
trip it's been.
long time.
Getting from
So here we are, number one. We talked about it last week. We mentioned it. We know what it is. It is DS9, Season 6, Episode 19, In the Pale Moonlight.
Brilliant.
So to recap it real quick, it starts off, and it's interesting. It's one of the, we were commenting about this yesterday. It's one of the few episodes where we see kind of a break of the fourth wall, because Cisco is doing a log entry, but he's looking at the camera. He's talking to the audience basically throughout the whole thing, and that's a kind of a departure from our usual structure of a series. But so he's giving a log entry about what's happened over the previous 2 weeks, and then we see the rest of the episode kind of flash back from there as we get intersections of him talking about the what's happening as a narrator. But the basic line is that the war is not going well. He's continuing to put up the weekly casualty reports, and it's very depressing. And in a casual conversation with Dax, they talk about if the Romulans are just kind of sitting back and letting things happen, and what would happen if the Romulans were to join the fight. Maybe it could be what they need to turn the tide for the Alpha Quadrant, and that puts Cisco thinking that about how that could be done. And of course they brainstorm a little bit, and it would be like if they could just show the Romulans that the Dominion would be possibly coming after them at some point, or maybe even invading them, that it might be the impetus to turn the Romulans to stop being neutral and actually come to the side of the rest of the Alpha Quadrant. So that puts Cisco on a pathway of developing a plan that becomes increasingly more complex and more morally ambiguous, and brings up some really interesting questions. Of course, what he does is he enlists Garrick to help, and the plan is that they're going to forge what would be like a holographic meeting where the Dominion would be discussing an invasion of Romulus, and then get this to a high official in the Romulan Senate who is generally more of a neutralist and actually is kind of enjoying the fact the Federation is in a dire strait, and try to convince them that there is that they are going to be stabbed in the back, and hopefully that will be the impetus to get things going. And like I said, then it starts a whole series of events where each step of the way, Cisco has to make a decision about what he's willing to do, and in incremental steps becomes more and more involved in this covert and, like I said, morally ambiguous decision process that he's going through to get the means to get to the end. Some of the things he does is they hire a forger that they have to get out of a Klingon prison. He does something wrong that forces them to have to bribe Quark to not make file charges against. So again, just step by step, he's going through the whole process. As we know, at the very end, they do meet with the senator. They give him the data rod, and in classic form, as we know, it's a meme now. It's a fake, and and Cisco is really worried now that he may have actually just screwed the whole thing up. But we find out subsequently that the shuttle that the Romulan senator was on was destroyed, and then we find out that Garrick, who has been basically Sisko's co-conspirator in this whole process, blew up the shuttle and again set everything in motion, causing the Romulans to make the decision to switch sides and declare war on the Dominion. So that's the synopsis. Discuss.
I think the big lesson to learn from this episode is when Sisko realizes what you've done, stay out of the way because your ass is getting pummeled.
Well, that's
Ben
true.
motherfucking Lafayette motherfucking Sisko.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'm gonna
it's
see-
interesting because
And Garrett being able to take the punch and go, yeah, but
Eric knowing it was coming the moment he decided what he was going to do.
that's exactly right.
oh yeah. Well,
I think-
and that's just the interesting thing too is you know that Garrick's plan from the get-go was to assassinate the
Oh my God,
senator, because
Omega.
that was
I'm sorry. Omega is saying Sisko didn't get authorization from Starfleet.
Yeah, he
Yes, when he told them, listen to the log entry, Starfleet said they blessed what he did. You must pay attention if you're going to argue.
because
Yeah,
he
they do
even
say-
talked
he
about
actually
how
says
he
that
thought it would
he has-
relieve the guilt, and it didn't.
But
Yes.
right.
Okay. So I had posted in the chat room a moment ago. This definitely has a feeling of a Section 31 mission.
Yes.
It also
Yes.
has. I also wondered if this was what drew Section 31's attention to DS9, specifically, revolving around some of the other characters, specifically Bashir. But his contact, the person he spoke to, could have very well have been a Section 31 operative that said, "Yes, go ahead and do this. We totally approve. Go. We like this idea. Do it."
That brings up a good point, Mike. How bad is Section 31 in their job that Sisko and Garrick had to come up with this?
That's a very good point. As I was telling
It's
Terry,
so
isn't it
true.
odd that a Starfleet captain is the one that did this? Because I said this is a Section 31 mission. That they should have already been doing this.
Section 31 was too busy fucking around with Bashir's brain.
Well, no, they were
There
too
you go.
busy screwing around with the with Odo.
Yeah,
Remember,
that's right.
that's a whole thing that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Oh my
Nobody
God,
knows.
Is Omega being obtuse on purpose?
I don't know. I'm not watching the chat room.
He's
to be
like,
honest.
okay, when did Starfleet say it was okay? When did he say this? Then why did he delete the log entry? He deleted the log entry because he was clearing his conscience.
And
Yeah,
because it
he was talking
all
about things that probably Starfleet didn't know about. Starfleet knew about the mission; they just didn't know all the depths of the different machinations that he went through to get it successful. He's confessing
totally were on
basically in a
board with
log
the
entry that's
falsifying
trying to
of the
clear his
data rod.
conscience, and he doesn't get the opportunity. At the end, he's like, "I can't, you can't leave that
I
in there."
can live
He
with
got
it.
it off his chest.
I can
But-
live with it.
Yeah.
yeah.
But the great thing about this episode too, which happens, this happens to me in the really good Star Trek episodes, is there is no clear answer. In this case, yes, did he do some things that were morally ambiguous? Did he do some things that were not necessarily correct Starfleet? Yes. Does that mean he's a bad person? You know what? You have to sit there and go. Again, it's that whole that age-old question: do the means justify the ends?
The needs of the many.
Yeah, exactly. Did the fact that he compromised his standards and everything, and actually is complicit or even an accomplice to an assassination, but did it save the lives of millions of other people? Did he make that sacrifice to himself?
But see, you could argue he wasn't complicit in the assassination because he had no knowledge of the assassination.
That's true. That's true. But he was still in the process of the whole thing
Right,
happening.
it's-
He was
it's-
complicit in a lot of other rule bending to get things to occur. I mean, he bribes Quark. He gets a convict out of a Klingon prison.
Now,
And I
people
think
only
it's
to kill
naive
him.
to think that Garrick was not going to assassinate Tolar too, because let's face it, you get rid of your witnesses.
Garrick's the fucking man. But when people talk about this episode and they say, "Oh, Sisko is this and that," is it any different than Kirk say in the Apple, destroying the computer or destroying Landru? Doing all of that, changing whole worlds because he didn't like the way it was run. This was Sisko doing something for at a minimum, three different, the Federation, the Klingons, and the Romulans, to save them from an outside force. So Sisko was doing something for the for the far greater good here. And yes, I'm going to defend Ben Sisko in anything he does.
Well, the other argument here too is that the difference in a normal Starfleet situation and this is they are at war, and war brings on different aspects. You don't, I mean, let's face it, you attack and you kill in war. You defend and you attack and you counterattack and things that you wouldn't be normally doing in a regular course of business. And that changes the way you approach how you do things.
I want to point out something that I don't think too many people pay attention to. When the Romulans entered the war because of this, the founder goes, "How did they find out our plans?"
Yes.
That's a good point. And I thought it was a great way of bringing the Romulans into DS9. It doesn't matter if Picard would do this. Holy fuck! I'm gonna boot. I'm gonna boot.
No, you're not. Therein lies the difference. Once again, it clarifies the downfall of Sisko as that tragic character. This is where it starts off. This is where it kicks off, and this is where the tragedy of his character begins. It's fascinating to watch. And what's the difference between Sisko and Garak?
Garak remains true to himself throughout the whole thing.
Exactly. Garak is the one character who personally I adore because he's never dishonest about who he is and what he does, and Sisko, just by virtue of this episode, shows that he can't live with it. He can't. As much as he would love to be able to try, he is not a Garak.
Let me ask you a question. Everybody says, would Picard do this? That's fine. Would Janeway? I'll bet she would.
Yes.
Would Archer? I'll bet he would.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Definitely.
I do. I agree with that. TNG is a different show. He's a different character, and that's how people are different. So it's a fascinating episode again, and for me it was this is the trigger point. This is when Sisko, again, he turns into that tragic character as opposed to that heroic character. He turns into a tragic character for me. Same way with, again, with Archer and with Janeway.
Picard and Kirk were never put in this particular situation. We don't really know how they would have reacted. Archer, I could definitely see Archer doing it. In fact, I'm sure we would have probably actually seen it if the Romulan War had actually been visualized. I'm sure there would have come a time when he was presented something and he would have said, the greater good requires that I, wipe out this planet or whatever,
Well,
and they kind of do that, and he kind of does that in a few areas. I mean, to open up.
Archer strands that whole ship, steals their technology just so that he can get to his means to justify an ends, but he compromises his what we see as the moral choice. We've seen Archer do it. And we've seen Janeway do it, of course. And again, like you said, there's different circumstances. But, even, Kirk did it. I'd even say that there's probably episodes where Picard did it.
Yeah.
It depends on the circumstance.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the closest we can come to for Picard.
He's
First Contact.
Well, I was going to say the Borg sending Hugh back.
Yeah, that was a genocidal thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How moral was that?
Of course, he didn't do it, though. I mean, they didn't put in the destructive one. They just sent Hugh back, but they didn't put the destructive...
but see, that's the thing.
That was the plan
a single person to die, essentially, to be reassimilated with the hope that taste of individuality would spread like cancer.
And it did.
Yeah.
It did for a very small faction.
And drove them to lore.
Yeah.
Best intentions.
And as Sisko said, the road to hell. The road to hell. The thing was that, with Garak, he's been in hell. He's already there. And he is good at it.
He's
got a
living in hell
bus
right
pass.
now.
Yep.
Garak is the ultimate pragmatist.
Yes.
Garak's got the bus pass to hell.
No,
He
I
goes
don't
there
think he does.
regularly.
I don't think he does for the simple fact that Garrick is not looking. Garrick's not evil. Garrick's just doing what needs to be done.
Yeah, he's the pragmatist. He understands what needs to be done, and he always does it for the love of Cardassia.
Yeah,
It's for
he's the ultimate nationalist.
That's exactly.
Well, let's remember too, being a villain is a point of view thing because
Yes.
villains do not see themselves as being in the wrong.
Absolutely
Well,
not.
exactly, and
And that's the way. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's and I've talked about that's why, like in professional wrestling, some people cheer the bad guy, the villain, because it's not always black and white. No matter how bad the intentions are, they believe what they're doing is right.
Exactly.
But this the ending of this episode with the music at the end after the computer delete entry, everything about it is just so spot on. And
Hey,
I
Nick.
loved Bashir in this episode where he just this small part he has, but where he says, I'm going to have, file an objection or whatever. It's a small moment, but it's brilliant.
Hey,
Oh,
Nick.
And that's a good point. When the other officers are faced with what seems to be kind of an out of character thing from Cisco, they don't just become complicit. They stick to their
They push
guns.
back.
Yeah, exactly. And that was actually a very strong moment for Bashir because that's one of the first times we really see him really, I mean, let's face
Take a
it,
stand.
He took a stand. And yes, he'll follow the order, but he even makes it known, I'm going to document this. This is something, and I want that order in writing,
And yeah, and it's not histrionics or anything. He says it very, very hard, but not yelling, just telling his commanding officer, whom he respects immensely, I don't agree with this, and I'm putting it in writing, just so you know. I'm going to do the right thing on my end because I don't know what you're doing, but this sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Paul. He made a 3-part Foundry series on what happened to the biomimetic gel. Of course you did, Paul.
God, I love fanfic.
How has Paul not been hired by the new Star Trek series?
Because
Remember us when you do get hired.
I don't know. Oh.
So Nick,
Yes.
what did you think of the Romulan in this episode?
I loved him. He's a Romulan. I loved him.
What do you think of the picture in chat?
Oh no.
That's wrong. That's so wrong. That's just.
That's great.
I love the scene where he's talking about the replicated drink, and then as they go on, just this is a very close approximation. That's why I love the Romulans.
Because it's always.
I thought the was phenomenal in there because he had just the right amount of arrogance and superiority and yet,
confidence.
And confidence. There was such subtlety in the way he and Cisco spoke back and forth.
But he was also open to talking. He was also listening. He wasn't shut off. He came across that way at the beginning. But then, when he saw the thing, he's like, you realize I have to have this checked out. Okay, you've presented something here, but I'm, trust but verify.
But see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's and I hate saying this, but this is really the way Romulans should be acted.
Yes.
They're because that's the way they've always been portrayed is they're sitting back, they're listening to the conversation, and they only speak up when there's something critically important to say or they think that it will give them the advantage.
Right.
And I thought Adrienne Barbeau later on did a nice job as the Romulan.
Oh yeah.
Was she Kretak? She was Kretak, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just a great episode. It doesn't surprise me that it made the top 10. I have to say it did surprise me that it made number 1. But
I think, Terry, because it's so suspenseful that it really sticks in people's minds.
It's interesting. I was looking at on Wikipedia, and they were talking about the fan and critical reception of this episode. And interestingly enough, various science fiction magazines and other pods and stuff have done surveys. This episode has consistently been in the top 10, if not the number 1 episode by poll.
And
so our poll kind of
substantiates that does surprise me.
But it's because it's such a huge departure from what we normally see of Trek.
And it's also a major turning point in a series. It is a linchpin of the last 4 seasons. Really turns on this episode in a lot of ways. And if you think about it with Star Trek, and I won't count TOS because that was episodic. Best of Both Worlds is a linchpin for TNG. Would you agree?
Sure.
Sorta.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, it's a turning point in the way that they handle it. Pretty much everybody, I think.
Scorpion does the same thing for Voyager.
Scorpion, this one for DS9, and the final episode of season 2, which leads into the Xindi arc, where the Xindi probe attacks the Earth, is kind of the linchpin for Enterprise.
For Enterprise.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, I can see that.
Even though I couldn't name that episode is still the linchpin episode.
One of the things I wanted to touch on real quick on in this episode was it is really the impetus. The thing that really kind of breaks the camel's back is the idea that and the Federation itself becomes so desperate to approve this plan is because Beta Z is taken down by the Dominion. For anybody who does not know, there's actually a novel about the Battle of Beta Z, and if you want to go ahead, I wanted to let you know there's further story in that regard.
There's also in Tales of the Dominion War, there's the story of Luoxana during the fight for Beta Z.
And to interject for a second, the episode from Enterprise you're looking for, it's called The Expanse.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Now, Matthew Anderson brings up a great point. You could change In a Pale Moonlight to a non-Trek setting, and this story still works because this story is all character. It's all character driven. It's all strong writing. The story doesn't lead the characters lead the story.
Yep. And in First Contact. Okay. So sorry, I'm responding to Omega. That's all. He says, "Why don't we see a dark side to Picard and TNG?" And I say we do. There's a consistent, especially because it's after.
Well, that relates to the Borg.
The episode Brothers itself. He is still trying to hold on to what he had before, and he literally gets into a fist fight with his own brother. Until
but that was years in the making. I don't think that was the dark side of Picard.
No,
I don't think that was the dark side. That was a purging.
Yeah, and family.
Yeah,
that's a purging of just.
You want to see the dark side? Watch First Contact.
Yeah.
That's when he pulls out the fucking gun and starts shooting people.
Yeah.
And takes the safeties off.
He basically tells Worf he's a
Jean-Luc,
pussy.
it looked like you were enjoying it.
And he was.
But when he tells Worf he's a pussy, that's pushing. Look, Mike, I'm going to say this. Ain't no Klingon pussy there. When Worf is the one saying, we really need to get out of here. We can't fight this. That tells you something.
Yep.
Worf, the most honorable Klingon ever.
So there's been some ideas about moving forward now that we have, and by the way, thanks to all of our listeners for the poll,
except for Paul,
for participating, for listening, and for being a part of this conversation. 50 amazing episodes.
And Terry, before you go on to the next thing, we are going to do another segment next week with 50 for 50, and that is going to be what the episodes, our favorite episodes that we think should have been on the 50 for 50 but didn't make the list.
I thought we were skipping a week for that.
We're going to skip a week, so
I won't be here.
We're skipping a week and doing that 2 weeks from now.
Now,
why are we skipping a week?
Because
I won't be here. I'll be at shore leave.
She's doing the shore leave convention.
My apologies. You're right. Yeah, we're gonna do it when Nick gets back. But that's we're gonna kind of finish up the 50 for 50 with kind of our guilty pleasure episode. Honorable mentions, or in our opinions, ones that were maybe left out of the list in error.
And we're going to briefly touch on our favorite episodes that didn't make the list
one from each series.
Right.
Now, I also want to say, regarding upcoming episodes of our show, I will not be at Starbase Shoal prior to STLV because of work commitments. I won't be getting into Vegas till Tuesday night. But I am going to attempt, Steve. Hello, Steve. Are you listening? To connect from Starbase Getty to cook here while they're cooking there. So this could be a massive Voyager-like Herodian relay station back to
We're
the
going
Alpha
to break
Quadrant.
the space-time continuum in order to pull this off.
Yeah. So we're gonna try it.
Yep.
You hear him programming in the background as we
Yeah, really sorry. Typing.
Wanted to ask you guys a question. The new missions, the new episodes in Star Trek Online, not the 23rd century, the
I haven't played them yet.
Oh.
I haven't either. Got to the end of the 23rd stuff, got into the 24th century, saw that the mission was go save the Azure, and went, fuck it.
Oh, I haven't even seen that. There's one that deals with the Breen attacking Earth during the Dominion War.
Yes. Okay.
That is the bug.
Did you see that the Dominion...
I haven't played that episode.
Oh, well,
that's
pay attention.
The bug.
It's the Enterprise... I didn't have a bug.
You're not supposed to see that yet.
Oh, well, I saw it. Watch, it's the Enterprise and the Cairo that are fighting back. So I squeed because Jellicoe!
Well, see, and that's the other thing here right now, because in last night's episode, in which we just watched the Cairo, the CO, the Cairo is killed, and it's a female, and it's a friend of Dax's.
Because they're saying that the Jellicoe got promoted after he was captain of the Enterprise. So you're right. Well, no, the Dominion War, because that member in the books, remember?
That's what I thought too. Yeah. So it was just the novel writer who didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I still got excited because the Cairo is, much like Enterprise will always be Kirk or Picard ship, the Cairo will always be Jellicoe's.
Yeah.
To me. Yeah, what's her name? Captain,
I don't remember. But she gets offed.
Yeah.
She's she's on the list.
I like that little throwaway.
Speaking of people being offed, Temporal Recruit, did you see the name of the person offed in your tutorial mission? Gets a spear through his back?
What?
The red shirt
with
that
the
gets a
Galileo
spear through his...
No, who is it?
It's Flores, as in the great-great-great-grandfather of Alicia Flores, your bridge officer, if you start a character in the current timeline.
Oh,
Son,
my God.
You and Mike really need to get closer to each other so that way you can get a life.
I love it. That's so great.
Hey, I actually alone. I love her.
Did I say I didn't? But the fact that she knows that and that you're at level 74 on a tune that you rolled on Thursday.
51.
It's the new chair, isn't it? You're just too comfortable in the new chair.
Well, I only got the chair yesterday, and yesterday I only played one mission after I got the chair set up and working.
Does it make your?
Because he went to sleep in it.
Is it better in your tushy? Is it better on your tushy?
Yeah, but it's a little rough on my knees still, so I have to adjust the height and work out the bugs.
Yeah, you got to find your sweet spot.
Yeah, but so far so good.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, and there's
mail.
also an idea that we're kind of tossing around about the bottom 10, right, Kosher? Is he there?
We kind of talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, we'll discuss it with the group and see if it's something that we can do.
Was this an after-sex cuddling conversation?
Actually, didn't we once talk about how we were going to JJ that episode?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's something along that.
Which episode?
Well, it's just kind of like a new thing instead of
JJ
the 50,
that episode?
JJ that episode? I think we should JJ the bottom 10 episodes.
What would that entail? Making Carol Marcus walk around naked?
Well,
with a lizard. With a lizard.
With the salamander.
You start off with the worst episodes, and my theory is you revamp them,
Mike.
Make them better as they would appear in the
how would they appear universe. In the JJ verse?
Hey, yeah. Mike, since Paul hasn't been here in a while, tell him your Daffy idea about City on the Edge of Forever.
Oh, Daffy, what? I swear, it's the truth. And the men in the white coats are waiting to take me away.
Tell Paul, because I want to see Paul's reaction.
Okay. Edith Keeler is actually a temporal agent from the future working with the Nakul, and her job was to come back and set up events so that when the Nakul go to World War II and work with the Germans, that the U.S. is in no position to fight back. However, she gets hit by a car and fails her mission. However, when Kirk and Spock and McCoy go through the Guardian of Forever, they save her life. Or McCoy saves her life, allowing her to fulfill her mission, altering the future, and therefore forcing Kirk and Spock to go back and stop McCoy from saving her life, which allowed the future to be restored. So Edith Keeler's fault. That's what it is.
Ironically, Paul just finished doing a Foundry mission, now that you've said it, about that. It's a 6-parter.
I now want to write the Garden Gnome of Forever.
So what do you think, Paul?
No, it's the Garden Gnome of Wherever.
Is that? Cuckoo.
That was Omega. That wasn't Paul.
I know.
Come on, Paul. You feel me, right, bro? You feel me?
No. How dare you sully the name of Edith Keeler like that? I'm just picturing you as you thought of this, the smile spreading across your face and the beard just moving.
Too funny.
I am the Fed Man.
Look at Paul still digesting it.
They are the Fed Man. I am the Klingon.
Oh,
Cuckoo.
There you go.
Well, they didn't know that she was a temporal agent. See, Terry, she further theorized that she was actually going to assassinate Kirk at the theater if they actually made it that far.
Oh my God.
It's so funny.
So,
but she was just a really shitty temporal agent. That's what it comes down to.
So?
Yeah, she was just a shitty temporal agent. But that does not make her less of a temporal agent.
There's always somebody in the bottom of the class.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
And she was gay.
She could have been.
She could have been.
Kirk was in love with her. She didn't have to die. No, but she did because she was a temporal agent. Is that what I'm guessing, Mike?
Oh, it's like if Kirk had known that she was a temporal agent, he could have saved her and just taken her back to the Enterprise. But because he did not know, and the way that the future was supposed to pan out, she did have to die. But yeah, so if he had known that she was actually a temporal agent, he could have brought her back to the future. She would have, quote unquote, disappeared or died in the past, which allowed the future to kind of restore itself.
This is like shooting silly string into a room.
Isn't it awesome?
And just watching.
Yeah. This is how a Trekkie's brain works.
This is your brain on track.
And not on Amish white. Okay.
Yep. Listener mail.
Hey, I need to talk to you. Listener mail.
Oh my God.
Our friend Terrace, he sent us a message. To paraphrase, he has created a network of podcasts called the Freebooters Network. He wanted us to give him a shout out. He says that they just interviewed Keith R.A. DeCandido about his Klingon book, The Klingon Art of War. And
congratulations, Terrace.
So,
congratulations.
Thank you.
Very cool. Yay. We'll have the link for that.
Yep. I put it in the chat room.
Cool. Well, I think that kind of does it for this week's episode. Do we have any other announcements?
I have something to say. Announcements.
Oh, I don't think we've officially welcomed Live, Love, Play to the BLB family.
Welcome, Live, Love, Play. We love you.
So our friend Ross, he's put together I guess it's another little production company where he's going to be producing videos and whatnot, and as part of BLB
multimedia.
Yeah, so they're doing Super Geeks on it. He's doing like some Let's Plays and a variety of other things. And let's just say that some of the things that he has planned are phenomenal. So are going to be some fun things. So just check it out. Live, Love, Play.
Cool.
Or it's iliveloveplay.com.
Excellent. All
Don't we
right,
have a
you
spin-off
guys.
on the O Show too?
What's that? Oh,
Oh yeah, O Sports Show. Looks like they're going to be spinning off it's not a spin-off. It's more like an add-on, kind of like a supplemental log, I guess, of sorts, where they're going to have an individual covering Boston sports. I believe it's Boston sports, or maybe Boston
Correct.
basketball. But so that should be
I'd
interesting.
rather watch Klingon porn.
Arr.
Wait. Okay, so if Sports Show is having a kind of subset supplemental thing, wouldn't it be called Double Play?
oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that would work, but yeah, we should have thought of that sooner. That would have
Or
made
overtime?
that
Would
would
it
have
be
made
called overtime?
Overtime?
Yeah, right now they're just calling it the O Sports Show Boston, kind of like NCIS
I love that one,
New
son.
Hampshire or whatever it's called.
NCIS New Hampshire. Oh
We
my
almost
God,
hit
my
a
brain
deer
just
and
went- That
totaled
would be
a car.
hilarious. Oh my God.
Thank
You'd be
you.
like
You're
Fargo.
holding- I'm backing
Okay.
myself up. Okay.
All
Ooh,
right,
boy.
we're gonna wrap it up here, folks. I want to
NCIS Dubuque.
Thanks everybody for listening. Please join us next week for episode 246.
I may
Until
be here,
then.
but I don't think so.
Until then, live long and prosper.
Kapla.
Happy birthday, Linda Park. So sorry.
Catch you on the flip side.
All that we have is yours.
Joe
Except the
Untrue. Hey,
Except the pie.
Joe Untrue, KMG 369.
Music for the GNT show is provided by 5 Year Mission, Enterprise Blues Band, Warp 11, Andrew Allen, and Greth Thor. The GNT show is a BLB production.
Move ahead, warp factor 10. Put a mini skirt on Mayo Man. Represent the human race. And we make space a happy place. To boldly go where no man's gone before. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Gonna travel to new worlds. Beam on down and meet some green girls. Gonna see what we can see. A fancy free galaxy. To boldly go where no man's gone before. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Come and take a tour with me. There'll be no cons or Kobayashi. Gonna travel